No, you should do it like a vampire, Revan.
No, I'm good.
We are playing VTM.
We are.
Only fair.
I guess
Are
Sith
we?
Lords. I guess Sith Lords are kind of similar to vampires in a way. But yeah, it's back. Us, the Holo Tesseract, your hosts, Revan and QuasarNova.
Hello.
And hello. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on which part of the world you live in. Yeah, we're doing a bit of a short, even though it's a Friday, we're doing a bit of a short stream today, and depending on how far we get today, either our finale, or most likely our finale for this game, will be next session, next stream, which will probably be this Sunday or Monday, but yeah, stay tuned. And without further ado, let's continue.
Let us begin.
Okay. I'll take over here.
Oh,
We're
do you
back.
mind if I quickly say something?
Go for it.
I was just gonna say, for anyone that missed anything, if you want to catch up, go on our YouTube. We will put the link in our description in our about section for Twitch. That way, you can watch all of the old VODs and not miss a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just gonna.
And they
dive
should
right
also be on the Twitch channel VODs. But those, I believe, I don't know how long they stay for, but there isn't that many episodes, so all the previous ones for this game should definitely be there. Okay. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Ah, well.
Yep, that's me. I'll have the usual.
I feel there's a big, what are we doing in this relationship talk coming if I don't change my ways. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already happened. But most of the time, Dakota has seemed happy enough, just listening to the stories of my unlife. Oh, hey, Wolf.
Hey. Hey, yo.
Yeah, that's the term they tend to use, unlife, because they're technically dead. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. Guess I have that going for me. Ah, well. I have no idea what to do tonight, so I'll just do the obvious thing and wing it. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it, or however it went. Time to lose myself in these busy streets, and pray that the answers I'm looking for are out there. And if they're not, maybe I'll at least find some amusement or blood instead. Okay. Choices. Camera shyness. The description is, no, I don't want to be a part of your goddamn interview. Look, can I not be bothered for one goddamn second? You're not listening. The second choice is Prince of Cats. I need to resolve this thing with Dakota. As if going around in circles on behalf of the court wasn't stressful enough, maybe a visit to some quiet neighborhood will help me clear my head. So do you want to deal with a interviewer / reporter, it seems like? Or clear your head and go to some quiet neighborhood?
The Prince of Cats thing sounds very interesting. I just don't understand how that's relevant to any of that blurb, which is why I actually want to do that one.
It's basically saying, so as you can tell, Julia's she feels like she's not putting much in her relationship with her girlfriend, Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota's really warm, really there for her, and she's just kind of aloof, and she feels like Dakota's giving it her all, she's not doing much, and she wants to resolve this. And she's already busy with this whole murder investigation and everything. So right now she's thinking, I gotta clear my head, I'm gonna visit the neighborhood. That's what it's saying. I'm overwhelmed by my relationship, by work. I just want to visit a nice, quiet little place and just, clear my head. So this one?
Yeah, I think the Prince of Cats. Let's go with that.
Alright, let's clear our head. So I didn't do this quest the first time I played around. So this one's slightly new to me. I don't quite remember. So I'll narrate. If there's a male character, I'll let you take over the narration, as usual.
Sounds good.
There it is. That distinct vibe of Manhattan's residential area.
Do you hear that?
No, I didn't hear you sniffing.
Damn it.
Okay,
Does that work?
we'll just I think we know that you were sniffing. Okay.
All right. Sniff.
And an unmistakable scent of casserole enveloping the surroundings in a heavenly aura. The atmosphere of desolation makes it feel more like purgatory, though. There's not a single soul in sight, and I'm gonna assume this is a guy based on the picture. So I'll take over here, and then you can take over narration. Ah,
sounds good.
crap!
Looks like I'm not alone, after all. Some guy exerts himself climbing a nearby tree.
Oh, I did do this quest. Okay, now I remember it. Yep, it is a guy. I just remembered now. As soon as it said he's
also
climbing
some guy.
Yeah. And as soon as it said climbing a nearby tree, now I remember what happens here. All right.
I instinctively take a step into the shadows to remain outside of his line of sight, but I can barely see anything from where I stand. Stay low just means, like, watch, right?
Stay low is like, yeah, you're kind of like maintaining your position, kind of keeping a low profile. Moving closer means you get closer to him, but you don't quite call him out. Third one is you straight up call out to him.
I'm gonna stay low and just watch what happens. It's interesting. Better to curb my voyeuristic impulses and keep my head down. Did you press... Oh, okay. Sorry, that was lag for me.
No worries.
For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude. This old oak is even that tall.
This
sure,
oak.
It looks like
there is no old.
Yeah, I said this oak.
You said this old
my
oak.
Bad. Whoops. Come on, dude. This oak isn't even that tall. Sure, it looks like it's the first time the guy ever tried climbing a tree. It takes a long time for the mysterious trespasser to steady his breath and carry on. At this distance, I can barely discern his features. He sizes up one of the longer branches. It seems sturdy enough, and nearly reaches a narrow window on the second floor. Still, the guy is hesitant.
Alright, no biggie. Just eyes on the prize.
He moves a few steps along the branch, his feet slipping every other step on his way to the window. By some inexplicable fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Once he makes it far enough, the branch slowly bends under his weight. He kneels down, probably calculating his chances to make it over the windowsill. My guy, if you pull this off, it will legit be a miracle.
It will be a legit miracle.
Oh shit! What is wrong with you? Okay, my guy,
slowly.
If you pull this off,
take your time. Don't be afraid to take your time.
Be a miracle. Yeah.
It will be a legit miracle. You said it will legit be a miracle.
Oh my god. Okay, my guy, if you pull this off, it will be a legit miracle.
There you go.
I can't help but cheer him on. The trespasser scouts his surroundings one last time, making sure no one can see him. He then he reaches into his pocket, pulls out what looks like a marble, and zeroes in on the window. I was gonna say miracle. He has a pocket miracle.
A pocket mirror. Okay, here we go.
He tosses the marble with the grace of a baseball pitcher.
I mean, they are New Yorkers, right? So
yeah,
they're into baseball and all that.
Blue Jays. Wait, that's a different. Never mind. I might have just doxed myself. Whoops. The clink of the glass is subtle, but it proves effective enough to alert whoever lives inside. A few seconds later, the window opens with the creak of a wooden frame, followed by the muffled but undeniably happy voice of the girl inside.
This is Manhattan, not Brooklyn.
Yep.
Saying because Wolf asked, is this Brooklyn? Is this Manhattan?
Prince? How do you... no. Prince, how did you... I told you it's dangerous. My dad...
Oh, fuck him. You can't let him make this choice for us. You know how I feel about you, don't you?
I do, but...
Just let me in, baby. I promise. We'll figure something out.
Alright, just come in quickly. And just like that, Prince throws away all of his doubts and eagerly jumps inside, straight into the arms of his forbidden lover. It actually makes me smile. My peeping eyes score another victory. What a story. Heartwarming, nostalgic. It's just too bad that it's too cliche to steal from my writing.
So the wolf said, the houses look like a Brooklyn neighborhood. They used the same artwork in the previous game for a neighborhood. Yeah. I think they just happened to use the same backdrop. But yeah, it did say earlier this part of town
Larson's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just implied like you're just in a neighborhood. They use the same background sometimes.
Mm-hmm. What? Julia, you don't write anymore. Yeah, but it's not like you can simply stop thinking like a writer. Gotta use that energy elsewhere somehow. But for now, let's just start heading downtown.
All of a sudden, I'll take over here.
Oh, sure.
All of a sudden, the world ends. Everything stops. I'm lost in the darkness. And there's not even a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleep paralysis. Except it feels as if I suddenly woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I react to it the same way I used to react whenever I woke up in the middle of the night. Aware, but not being able to move or speak. I just wait for it to pass. But, instead of slowly regaining control, I just see a bizarre room emerge from the darkness.
Someone staked me, didn't they? Oh my god.
Remember, you're a La Sombra, you see ghosts. So this is in the World of Darkness. So I went into a huge World of Darkness lore deep dive last night. I went into Vampire the Masquerade, Mage the Ascension, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and there's this thing called the Oblivion. And La Sombra, they are the vampire clan that have the closest connection to the Oblivion, the void, nothingness.
Just look at her, flesh refusing its fate.
Dude, that was epic.
This one's you. Yeah. That's exactly how I imagined the voice when I played this the first time. Like, creepy ass ghosts.
Yep.
It's not the one you're looking for, is it? It's led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep was silent before the shears, he didn't open his mouth.
There's none which is not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All turned aside. Together they have become useless.
Anyone curses his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves of the sea, bombing up their own shame. Wandering stars for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places.
If I had a program that allows me to like auto-tune my voice or like add certain pitches, I would go for a more creepy thing, but I don't have such programs at the moment, so it's the best I can do.
Just get a soundboard.
I should.
And in those days,
I was kidding.
In those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Whenever I become one of the darkness, there's always this nagging fear that it might become impossible to become the normal me again. That instead of the shadows returning to normal, I will let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else. Somewhere between the worlds. Somewhere like this. Wherever this is. This is the first time that fear has come true.
Are you afraid?
It's a bad idea to answer. Don't do it. Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I think I need to sit in this chair.
Think?
I need to sit in.
Water.
Oh my god. This is so doki doki.
You gotta sit in that chair. So,
sit in this chair.
I'll just let you pick the number.
I'll do number 2. I sit in the chair.
Years, and unworthy of joining the rest.
However, the path is open. It is a path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day.
And when she asks you what brought you here, let your response be assent.
Suddenly, my mind beginning to drift away from here. Suddenly I feel my mind beginning to drift away from here. I am slowly starting to regain control over my thoughts. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Fine, think what you want, whatever you want.
I'll take over here.
Fine. Sure.
I find myself in a dark corner, leaning against a wet, cold brick wall. I think I'm conscious again, back from wherever it was, awake, but in an unfamiliar place. Well, let's just hope it's still in New York City. I emerge from the shadow to see where I am. A source of light above my head momentarily blinds me, causing me to instinctively raise my hand. As I do, I hit some sort of garbage bag with my hand. It falls to the floor, letting loose a metallic din.
What the fuck?
A woman.
Oh wait,
That's
I know who that is.
I should have told you. It's a normal woman's voice.
Yeah, it's a different woman's voice. I know who that is. That's Tamika.
Well, spoiler alert.
I mean,
I feel her hand grabbing my clothes. She brutally drags me closer. With one of my hands already above my head, I raise the other.
easy, peace. I mean you no harm. How long have you been there? Oh, sorry, no, that's not the right voice. What kind of voice was for her again?
So she's a very
How would you do
solemn. She's a black woman, so Black American, a young Black American woman, a solemn, kind of a solemn but firm voice. I think the one you did is not bad.
How long have you been there? I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing here. Or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. What are you, a junkie? No, you're a kindred. Yeah.
Keep your shit together, damn it.
I'm Julia Solonsky, the representative of the La Sombra in New York City. Camarilla? Yeah, I'm a Camarilla investigator. Well, if you came here to catch me, you're gonna be sorry you tried, Miss La Sombra. No, stop right there. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody.
Julia's not nervous here. She's not nervous.
Oh, she's not?
She's not. She's
I thought
kind
she
of
was.
in her head she is. In her own internal monologue, she is. But as she's talking firmly here. Like she's not showing her nervousness in her voice.
No. Stop right there. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Callahan's death.
Yeah, there you go. This surprises her. She loosens her grip slightly.
Callahan is dead? Nothing left but a rotten carcass and a musty robe. Well, I'll be damned. I've been off the grid for too long. What brought you here?
A memory from a different world pops up in my head. Yeah, I think I know the right answer.
A scent of death?
He lets me go. I rub my eyes and finally get a good look at her face. She's gorgeous, and judging by her nomadic clothes and the particularly fierce aura, she is probably an outlander. That is, another name for the Gangrel clan.
We'll have a talk, you and I. Sure. What's your name? Tamika, pass the smoke, will you?
If only it could. My heart would skip a beat right now. Tamika. I guess, once again, someone out there led me to the proper path.
Yeah, sure.
When I pass her a cigarette, I realize I'm standing in something wet. Something that smells tasty. I look at my feet and see a puddle of water mixed with blood. Oh, I get it.
Were these guys First Light?
The high-powered guns and expensive-looking outfits, flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize that equipment from some horror stories I've heard.
First Light, SI, SSO-COM, whatever they call themselves.
Usacom.
Oh, USOCOM, whatever they call themselves. They all bleed out the same, usually before I have a chance to ask them a single question.
There's another agency called SAD, Special Affairs Division, I think it's
SAD.
called. Yeah, and their acronym is SAD. They're one of the most dangerous governmental agencies. Like, they don't know all about the different vampires, but they, like, let's say they're smart enough, they have gathered enough intel, they have concluded the Nosferatu clan is the most dangerous because of how they look. And they've captured ghouls, and apparently under a microscope, ghoul blood looks different from a human. So, yeah, that's another alphabet agency.
Interesting.
Government-funded inquisitors. Some claim they're connected to the US government. Some claim they're supported by the anti-kindred faction in the Holy See. Some have even wilder theories.
You did it all by yourself?
You're cutting out a little bit.
You did this all by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all?
I shake my head.
Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. I just kind of let the shadows guide me. Is that a Lasombra thing? I've never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself. Go with the flow and all that. My embrace was just a few months ago. Huh. So you folks are with the Ivory Tower now? Last I checked, you were with the Sabbath. The Camis wouldn't forgive all the trouble you've caused them overnight.
So the Sabbat is the third faction. You have the Camarilla, the Anarchs, and you have the Sabbat. The Sabbat, they're straight up nihilistic. I've talked about them a little bit before, but now they're actually directly mentioned in the game. And they are, an extremist sect. They're basically extreme nihilists. And their big goal is there's a term called the antediluvians. This is an actual biblical term. If you study biblical history, or if you take a theology class, you'll hear the term antediluvian. Antediluvian means those who survived the flood of Noah, because in the Old Testament, the Christians believe that the flood of Noah killed the entire world, and humanity had to start from scratch, from the ones who survived in Noah's Ark. In VTM, which uses a lot of biblical backstories, antediluvian is a term that refers to the third generation of vampires, the original 13 from which all modern clans are descended from. So the Bruja antediluvian, the Gangrel antediluvian. Now, there's a lot
of specifics to VTM. A lot of history, a lot of stuff that just kind of gets layered on. I'd never even thought it could go that in depth.
Oh, they go even further. They start with the creation of Adam and Eve. All vampires, it is said they're descended from Cain, the first son of Adam, who murdered his brother. And Cain was cursed. And this is why vampires exist. They are who they are. And so, the antediluvians, they all kind of went into torpor, which is a hibernation coma. And there are theories about the end of the world. And there's something called Gehenna. Gehenna is basically vampire kindred judgment day. Muslims call it Qiyamah. Other religions call it Ragnarok.
Wait, Gehenna is actually a name from a different... I forget which religion exactly.
These are all references to different religions.
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
So,
Interesting.
Sabat, there is a lot of belief that as Judgment Day draws near, the original 13 antediluvians will awaken and kill all their progeny, aka
Offspring?
their
Yeah.
offspring. So the Sabat, their whole goal is they want to find where the antediluvians are and diablerize them, and they have managed
So
to
they
do so.
can't do anything.
Yes, and gain all of their power. And they have managed to do so. The Salubri clan's antediluvian was diablerized by the Tremere, which is why Salubri absolutely despised Tremere. So Kitsune said, a lot of this ends up coming up when you choose to spend time with Sophie's other child, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
He doesn't go into this much detail like I did. He does talk about Cain. He goes into... He explains Cain's curse, Cain's first city, how vampires ruled over this city of humans. Vampires, humans live side by side. And he talks about the antediluvians, but he doesn't go into details about the Sabbat. But he does talk about a lot of these things.
Interesting.
So yeah, that is the Sabbat, and their whole goal is to, at any cost, find the antediluvians and diablerize them. And they are heavily operational in the Middle Eastern area, and it's said that a lot of the Middle Eastern wars were little proxy wars done by the Sabbat, and they're the cause for all the strife in the Middle East. It's a proxy war to find the antediluvians. So yeah, La Sombra used to be allied with the Sabbat.
Mhm.
And then a whole portion of them broke away and joined the Camarilla.
Okay. Again, I'm practically still a neonate. I just know that there's a lot of bad blood between my clan and the others, and that I can expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Elysium. I see.
We smoke in silence for a short while.
Is there still a large SI presence? Let's go with that. Is there still a large SI presence in New York City? The Kindred are classified as a terrorist presence. There's no other American city that was hit as hard by terrorism as this one. All the secret agencies need symbolic victories. You do the math. And you're still taking these guys on here, of all places? As you can see, all around you, aren't they extremely dangerous? Almost got me for good last year. Took me a few weeks to get back in action. Then why are you doing this? Those motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. My brothers, my sisters. I see. I don't know how it is in other cities, but here, funny enough, they only seem to target marginalized and radicalized kindred, the ones that could theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Meanwhile, the establishment in New York hasn't really changed ever since the Calibros stepped down. Quite the opposite. Every SI raid in this city has only strengthened the old paradigm. Almost makes you think that their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from a blank body menace.
Tamika throws her cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and crushes it under her heel. She obviously has difficulty...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was answering.
That's what Fire mentioned. Oh,
yeah,
whoops.
that's what I was answering her question. Yeah. She obviously has difficulty smoking. It's like she's only ever tried it a few times. I assume she saw me carrying a pack and decided to try it to calm her nerves after the battle. Or maybe she just wanted an excuse to make our conversation less awkward. Who knows?
So, are you planning to snitch on me now, Shadow Girl? And why would I do that? Let me get this straight. You think I'm dumb enough to believe for 1 second that a Camarilla investigator would just so happen to stumble upon the alley where I just killed a bunch of SI motherfuckers? If so, you're the one who's dumb, sister. I don't care if you think I'm dumb. I don't care about the SI, and I don't care if you believe it was a happy accident. I met you, especially considering not even the sheriff knows where you are. But I care about solving the mystery of Callahan's death. And as it happens, you're one of the puzzle pieces. Pieces of the puzzle. What? What are you talking about? I found this on his body. Well, what remained of it.
I show her the note. She tries to grab it to read it, but I don't let her.
Aside from your name, we've got Hope, Agatha, and D'Angelo. Know them? Passingly. Any idea why Callahan would need a list of all of your names? I might know why, yeah. Do you? Absolutely. Do you know a man going by the name of Torque?
Huh.
Of course I do. Do you know about his connection to Boss Callahan and by proxy to the list and me? No, I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because if it's classified intel, sister. What do you mean by classified? Not free.
Oh, great. As if I were in the position to, or could afford any sort of quid pro quo. But fine, let's hear it.
What do you want?
She motions toward the bodies.
I've killed too many of these assholes. They're tightening their screws as it is. New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever was.
Oh man, bracing for something unreasonable.
What I need is a way to get out. What I need is a way out of the city. You offer that to me, and I give you the intel you need.
Huh. Would you look at that?
That's something I can handle, actually. Yeah.
He raises her eyebrows.
That's a surprisingly confident answer for a practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Psh, gotta say, you sound awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad, a bureaucrat. I know of a secret pathway that would lead you to the West Coast, 100% safe travel, and if you took it, you'd be untraceable. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs.
The only reason I know of this route is because a certain Nazi criminal group reached out to me on account of my position and offered a mutually beneficial deal regarding illegal kindred travel. Wasn't already obvious Nazi is slang for Nosferatu? I believe, let me check. Yeah, Nosferatu, yep. Normally I'd refuse, but they offered me the only thing that can buy me. A lot of cash.
Fine then. Money's not an issue.
Now that's something I never had a chance to ever say in earnest. Okay, then...
No wait. You should assist me first. Because when she's gone, she's gone. You should assist me first, then we'll figure out how to transport you out of the city. Hell no. Is this really the extent of your negotiation skills? Why would you think this kind of line would work? Well, I'm optimistic. Trying to be, at least. But we do need a way to open this deal that would satisfy both of us. Have you met Torque before? In the course of your investigation or before? I wanted to, but on the Einarch side, I only managed to meet Mia, and she wasn't keen on the idea of the two of us meeting. Ah, yes, Mia.
Her expression betrays she's got some vicious stories to tell, but it would be beneath her to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience.
So here's the thing. A few months ago, Torque and I were together. A lot of things happened. Long story short, I no longer feel close to him, but from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there might be something between us, I gave him a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me. And since these days sentimentality is all that keeps me going, I want it back. So my suggestion is, tell Torque's people I sent you to get inside his base of operations, meet with him, ask him your questions, and convince him to give back my ring. To give my ring back. You get to interrogate him, and I get to have my ring back. Then you hear my side of the story, then I get to leave the city with your help. Everybody wins more than once. They will really let me in just because I tell them you sent me? They will, trust me. That sounds too easy. What caused the two of you to drift apart? I can't say this word.
Irreconcilable.
Irreconcilable. Okay. I thought I was saying it wrong the first time. Irreconcilable differences in worldview.
Or is it irreconcilable? I don't know, I've heard it both ways.
Irreconcilable. Irreconcilable.
Okay.
That's what it is, yeah. Irreconcilable differences in worldviews. Well, I assumed so, but that's a diplomatic answer. If I'm gonna involve myself in a relationship drama of two ex-lovers, I still need something more to go on. Will you? Yeah.
He picks her words carefully.
I realized I had become an element of his carefully crafted, protected image. Projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator while paying lip service to revolutionary ideas. A mediator. That's the 21st century. That's the 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be the middleman these days. Nobody wants to do what's right. You serious? Whenever I heard about Torque from Ancilia, they talk about him. Ancilla? Okay, Ancilla. They talk about him like he's some kind of the second coming of Mao. Also, what's Ancilla?
It's another name for like Camarilla, elders, those people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you ever seen that, it's only because from time to time, people like me pushed him into doing an uneasy thing. Ever heard of the southern wolf and the northern fox? Both of them want to eat you for dinner, but only the southern wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky northern fox makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Torque loves to surround himself with northern foxes. They talk of compromises. They seem reasonable compared to the opposition, but at the end of the day, they have eyes on the same prize: power.
Hearing this gives me a foreboding feeling, but I can't quite nail down why.
All right, tell me where to go, and I'll tell you where we'll meet later.
Go for it.
I'm just chilling at Torque's when suddenly a shrill, loud voice pierces my eardrums. I think you should do the narration, by the way, because I'm doing
it until Torque arrives. Okay.
And what are you doing here?
No, Bojack, you skipped it. What the hell?
Whoops. And what the hell are you doing here?
I mentioned Bojack because there's that scene in when he's filming Secretariat. He's too happy. And he's supposed to be saying, "What are you doing here?" But he goes, "And what are you doing here?" And he just keeps on failing.
Yeah, and what are you doing here? Imagine if Mia literally goes like, "And what are you doing here?" And
that would break my that would break my immersion completely.
Of course.
Oh, yay. It's the pissy lady from Torque's inner circles.
Why are you always this pissed off? Yeah. Are you always this pissed off? Only when Ivory Tower bootlickers pop up into ruin my day. If you want me to act happier, make yourself scarce. No can do. Your boss let me in here. The hell he did. Get out. Thought you'd be more open to cooperation after our last talk. Not when you're trying to make deals behind my back, bitch.
Alright, and now you can take over narration.
Fuck.
Mia, it's okay.
There he is, walking through the door, one of the most infamous New York City barons, or as some people started calling him the moment Callahan met his end, the Baron of New York City. Torque, we've talked about this.
The situation is a little bit different now. Tamika sent her.
What? Bullshit. I wasn't able to track her down for weeks. Well, I did.
This is a reason to celebrate, not to get mad. Now, if you allowed the two of us a private conversation.
No, I'm gonna keep an eye on her.
You will keep an eye on the exit, and that'll be enough. Please.
He puts on his best authoritative tone, and it works. No protest this time. Mia leaves the room.
When talking to Mia, you mentioned cooperation? First I've heard about it.
I tried to make friends with her so that the investigation would go more smoothly. Looks like it wasn't appreciated.
I'm sorry about her. She can be overzealous, but usually, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, sure. So, she told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights?
I don't think so. Have you?
Well, I'm the dumbass the court ordered to investigate Callahan's final death. So considering your connection to the case, I thought it'd be prudent for us to talk.
Ah, so that's you.
Yeah. Now, I know you're probably anxious to hear about Tamika.
I'm surprised to hear you two know each other.
Well, we actually met through this investigation. Anyways, as I was saying, I know you probably can't wait to hear about her, but I'd like to ask you a few questions first.
I understand. Do your job.
Did you know Douglas Callahan?
Of course I did. We were both barons. Kept having professional obligations to meet each other, but that was it.
What was your private opinion of him?
Same as everyone else's. A racist clown, mentally stuck in the 18th century, who spent too much time keeping the anarchs down. I'm glad he's gone.
You mean he met his final death?
Well, you know what they say. Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave.
Weren't you the first kindred who saw his corpse?
I was, but it was his ghouls who found him. By the way, we've established that some of them tampered with the crime scene. They were properly disciplined for that. Give me 1 second, I'll be back.
Sure. So for everyone watching, thank you for being here, as usual. We appreciate you and we love you. And for everyone that's watching the VODs, thank you again for watching it. We are trying to finish this game because we want to move on to other games that are also equally as fun. As both Revan and I have talked about it, I think we're moving on to Danganronpa next. So for anyone who hasn't watched Danganronpa yet, leave your comments in the suggestion box or even in our chat for what you think of the game. If you don't know anything about it, just from hearing the name of it. But otherwise, I'll give you like a quick description now, and then you can tell me more about what you think about it. Oh, okay. Never mind. Just leave a comment about the game.
Anyways.
Convenient story. Let's move on. What's your alibi for that night?
None. I was running around town the entire night, taking care of various issues. Unrelated to Callahan, but I don't intend to divulge them to someone from the Ivory Tower.
So you have no interest in proving your innocence, proving yourself innocent?
My official position was made clear. It's the Camarilla who are to blame. It's your job to prove me wrong.
At least for now.
Wait.
I can face
Say that first part again.
Quarmac. Oh no, Kurwamak. Kurwamak. How do you
Okay.
say that?
So it's Polish. If you kind of put it together, Julia is Polish. Her parents came as
Yeah.
Polish immigrants to the U.S.
Yeah.
Kuruamak. I only know this because
Oh,
there's a
Kurwamak.
there's a pro League of Legends player. He plays for a European team. I think I'm blanking out on his name, but he's Polish, and on his Twitch streams, he curses. It's like I think it means like motherfucker or like bit. It's a Polish curse word basically. Yeah.
Kurwamak. At least for now. Can
At
I
least
face
for once.
a problem?
At least for once.
Oh crap. Okay. Kurwamak. At least for once. Can I face a problem that can be solved with pure logic, not politics? Whoops, sorry. Thought it was muted for a second. Whatever.
Cough. There, I
Give me like
equalized
2
it.
seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
No worries. She has gone to clear her airways.
As much as I can. I think it's I've been doing a lot of crafting lately. I think the glitter is going to my throat and I'm permanently like
You've been eating glitter while crafting?
I've been inhaling glitter.
Oh my god.
Any findings on your end that I should know of?
Ask Mia. She's the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to all the details.
Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Any idea who those people are?
Can't recall. Sorry.
The evidence I found suggests a potential link between Callahan and Tamika. Any clue?
I knew both of them well, but as far as I know, they've never met. That's it.
Oh, not sure what I expected. He's the kind of guy that that could only be pushed to talk if I had something concrete to push him with. Time to move on. Well, in that regard, Tamika.
Well, regarding Tamika.
Oh, shoot. What is... Okay. Well, regarding Tamika, you know what? Just let me say it how I say it, even though it's completely wrong.
I'll let it pass, but in some cases, you straight up use a completely different word that, like,
That's
project.
true.
Like, so it depends, but yeah.
Like, why would you write pieces of the puzzle instead of saying puzzle pieces? Like, it's
Both
so
are-
much
both-
simpler.
Some people talk again. Some people say puzzle pieces. Some people say, well, that's another piece of the puzzle. Like, it depends on the person's personality, right?
True. Okay.
Finally,
I'll cut straight to the chase. She wanted to inform you she will not be skipping town for a while.
you will be
She will
skipping
be
town.
skipping town for a while. Oh my god. To all of our viewers, I am so sorry.
Just
for
like
my
I told you, take it. If you before reading, if you want to like pause, think like look it over quickly, and then read it. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't care if we go
my
slower.
mouth moves faster than my brain does.
Yeah,
That's
so just
kind of
like
the problem here.
so just like honestly, I really don't mind at all if you want to pause, because for me, like I'm a very fast reader. I can quickly like see it and like quickly read it along. But you know, everyone's different. So if you want to pause and like take it slowly, dude, do that. It's totally fine.
I'll cut straight to the chase. She wanted to inform you she'll be skipping town for a while. The SI is hot on our tail and she needs to lose them. ASAP.
Oh, I've told her countless times. If she's in danger, I will always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation?
She's safe.
So you say.
She's got some other friends in high places. She'll manage to get out.
Gotta admit, that's not what I expected to hear. Or what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me?
She wants her ring back. His aura changes in the blink of an eye.
Ah, I see now. So that's why she didn't show up herself. Wouldn't even face me when delivering the final insult.
Looks like I stepped on a landmine.
She said the ring was a symbol of the trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm going to give it away. Not until she gives me the chance to explain myself.
I need that ring to get Tamaka to talk, but with the way he's acting, it doesn't seem like he'd be willing to part with it. It might require me to act shitty, but maybe time to change my approach? Like 2 or 3. Be brutally honest. Let's go. Fuck it, here we go.
Alright, you got a new trait. Honesty is the best policy.
Okay, fuck it, here we go. Listen, you're obviously the hottest new thing in town. People follow you. You're set to be the anarch people think of when they think of New York City. Good for you. But you're obviously way behind when it comes to understanding relationships. Tamaka gave it a serious try. She understood her path, she understood yours. She realized they're diametrically opposed. There
you go.
I did it. You just give me 2 seconds, gosh. And that's that. You're not going to change her mind by acting like a toxic shithead and forcing her to come grovel at your feet if she wants to get back something that has great sentimental value for her. You want to earn her trust again? Don't act like a power-tripping asshole. Show her you're capable of responding to her concerns and that you're capable of being selfless. That's the only thing you can do to change her mind. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Ah, fuck. Me and my big mouth.
Ugh.
He approaches the door and throws it wide open.
Mia!
Yes, boss.
We're done here. Lead the lady out as quickly as possible.
Yes. I have a lot of things I'd say to describe his behavior, but I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident. No need. I'm going. Thank you for your time.
Tell her I'll show her she's wrong. Tell her I will prove myself worthy of that ring if it's the last thing I do.
Whatever. I let myself be let out.
I'll take it over here.
Because then we talk to Mia?
Yep, and Tamaka next. Whatever. I let myself be led out of the building by Mia. Another mission failed. Time to meet Tamaka and tell her the bad news. I find her already waiting in front of the Jewish Museum.
How'd it go? Let me put it this way. I'm not surprised you dumped him. So you did not succeed. Nah, he got mad and started yelling about how he'll yet to prove himself to be worthy of that gift, and then he ran me out of the building.
Is she trying to stop herself from laughing?
What's so funny? Nothing, I'll be honest. I kind of expected that. It's just nice to get a definite confirmation he's still a bit of a toxic asshole, that's all. Well, glad I fell for the oldest trick in the book. Would be cool if, for once, a kindred telling me to do one thing didn't mean another thing entirely. Oh, don't be mad. I wanted to be sure of something, and now I am. As far as I'm concerned, you kept up your end of the bargain. It's time I repay the favor. Last year, a certain fledgling appeared in the city and attempted to build a coterie. That list you found on Callahan? That's the list they've got. They contacted each of us and found themselves in deep shit. SI, Kaiser, Sophie Langley, some shadow players manipulating everything from behind the scenes. Then they disappeared.
Kaiser. That name popping up once again. It can't be a coincidence.
No one knows where or why. It doesn't really matter. That happens when you punch way above your weight. Hope they're doing fine despite all the odds.
Give me 1 second.
Sorry to everyone again for my voice being completely batshit crazy recently. I don't know why. No, actually, I do know why. Like I said, it's the glitter. So I've been doing a lot of crafting on my own. Which, like, I mean, we were actually thinking of maybe starting like a Twitter
back.
and an Instagram thing to like kind of keep up to date with our watchers. But we're only gonna do that like a bit later. So once we end up actually doing that, we can probably put more artsy stuff on the Instagram page. That'd be kind of cool.
Alright.
Let's move on. In any case, Torque got involved too. That's how I met him. Actually, he got hurt.
No.
Didn't want to
That's
say...
how I met him, actually.
Oh, okay. In any case, Torque got involved too. That's how I met him, actually. He got hurt, didn't want to say how, claimed it could be anyone. It could put anyone who knew in danger. Whatever happened, I gave him the drive and the desire for change. For 2 months, he was a beautiful kindred, plain and simple. But suddenly, something in him snapped overnight. His tone mellowed out, his actions became timid, his language became more befitting of a political science student than a charismatic leader. I assumed he met someone who made him an offer he couldn't refuse, but I had no idea who that was. Then one night, I followed him when he went out, and I saw him scheming at the docks with Callahan. When he came back, we had an argument. When he refused to explain himself, I knew I was on my way out. That was that.
I understand.
Wish I'd known that earlier. Might have confronted the facts with him and learned something more. He never told me of all the kindred. What makes you think he would have told you?
He's got a point, I suppose.
All right. Thank you. Now it's my turn. Here's your way out.
I point at the manhole below our feet.
Here's a map of the sewers, follow the routes, then burn it. You'll be looking for one-eyed Nosferatu wearing tactical gear. Tell him I sent you, then give him the agreed upon amount of money. What kind of routes will I be taking anyway? An armored van full of precious coffins. My man knows how to arrange them to allow for unnoticed extra cargo.
Her face darkens.
This circulatory system? What'd you expect? Rich and powerful always get the blood they want, one way or another. At least tonight. One of their routes will be used for something good.
She drops her shoulders in resignation and opens up the manhole cover.
Fine, but remember, if this doesn't work, I'll be at your doorstep with a vengeance if that's the last thing I do. I'm sure it'll work out. Just be aware of a giant albino ghoul alligator while you're down there.
Hamika rolls her eyes.
Sewer ghoul alligator? For your information, it's just a story New York kindred tell to the neonates to mess with them, while they're still gullible enough to believe anything that they hear about their new world.
Oh, that makes sense, I suppose.
Well, this is goodbye. If in a few months you hear that the First Light presence in Los Angeles has been decimated, assume that against all odds, I'm still unalive and kicking. If you keep killing this indiscriminately, you might cross a line of no return, you know? Shouldn't you take it easy for a while? Not until my brothers and sisters in blood stop being slaughtered. I care about what's left of my humanity, but turning a blind eye on kindred in need would be even less human.
So that's the kind of person she is. And probably will be, until the very end. It must be comforting, in a way, to know how your path will end, yet to follow it all the same. I could never do that.
Here's some parting advice for you. We might be monsters, but we were lucky enough to be born into a world that's even more monstrous than we are. If we rebel against it, we might still find salvation.
If only I could believe it.
Didn't expect the preaching tone. Why are you telling me this? Because I think I have a pretty good nose for people's auras, and when I take a good look at you, I smell a penchant for ruthless opportunism. It's not much, just a hunch, but you seem prone to giving in to the Camarilla's empty promises of safety and their petite bourgeois values. I think I should take offense to that. I hope you do. That would reflect well on you well. In any case, whatever happens. See you in your next life, Julia. Safe travels, Tamika.
I skipped tonight's visit to the church. I'm not in the mood to see Benoit. I'm still embarrassed about yesterday's outburst. And I'm kind of pissed none of the clan elders in Chicago bothered to reply to any of my fucking reports. No advice, no feedback, nothing. I feel like I was left utterly alone. Besides, it's late. I always get back to the apartment early in the morning, right before it gets bright. It's getting risky to be out here so close to sunrise. Accidents can happen. I'll try to get back earlier tomorrow night. Attempt to surprise Dakota. Yeah.
I'm back. Hey! How was work? All caught up? I managed to get my deadlines postponed. All of our clients are canceling and delaying orders left and right. Huh, does that mean you'll have time to help me with my makeup tomorrow? We'll see. Perfect. Alright, I need to disappear before the sun catches up with me. Hey. Yeah? I love you.
Oh.
Oh.
An uneasy silence fills the room. I'm not getting out of this one, am I? No, I have to. I didn't lie to the Baron of New York City tonight, so I'm not going to lie to her.
I know.
She flashes a sad, forced smile as I leave to rest.
Rest.
I finally reach Big Beat Burger, hoping to recuperate from all the mental damage accumulated over the past few days. Only to find out the doors are locked, and nobody is inside. No. I need to be soothed. I need my routine.
Soothe.
I need to be soothed. I need my routine.
You've absolutely got to be kidding me. Closed? What the fuck do you mean closed?
I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Everything's closed.
Pandemic? What pandemic?
Do you live under a fucking rock? It's a new SARS virus, straight from China. The whole world is going crazy over it. People are dying left and right.
Oh my god, those talking points. Holy shit.
I didn't know something like this could still happen in this day and age. Somehow, it always felt like we were beyond it. Yeah, Wolf, this game was, he's talking about the relevancy. This game was released, last year. So hence why the developers, during development, midway through, they added all these portions into it.
Well, I guess it's lucky I'm dead.
I walk away to avoid bringing more attention to myself. Now, I understand why NYC feels downright apocalyptic tonight. It's like a psychedelic experience, to see these familiar streets empty and abandoned. Well, let's see what parts of the city are still alive in the middle of a plague. Alright. So this one's called An Aristocratic Taste. All this malaise spreading through the boroughs is putting me in a weird mood. Seems like I can't outrun it, so maybe I'll intensify it instead. Smallpox hospital, here I come. If you're gonna go to the hospital to try to, maybe feed on something, this one is called A Familiar Smile. It took just 2 days for the city to go all the last man on Earth. I probably won't have a better chance to soak in the atmosphere. This one, you're gonna go to the hospital, you're gonna meet this girl. This one, you're gonna you now realize why the city's so abandoned. You're just gonna take in the sights of the city. And you're gonna meet a guy.
Let's go with the familiar spot. The main reason is because I kind of want to see how they
take over narration.
The pandemic. Sure. But I just want to kind of see how they explain the pandemic. That's kind of why I wanted to do this.
Sure.
If someone asked me right at this moment how to define the meaning of the word eerie, I'd look them straight in the eye and say, just take a look around, idiot. But with the exception of of a few stray dogs, there's no one around to ask. This isn't New York. This isn't the New York I've come to know. I can't help but perceive it as artificial, real, but with an uncanny apocalyptic quality, like a city-wide roleplay of some trashy post-Apple flick. Like I was Will Smith in I Am Legend. Hell, this is probably the first time anybody has thought of I Am Legend in the last 10 years. The film version, anyway. I keep walking the empty streets until suddenly.
Hey! Julia! Julia!
The streets reveal themselves as less empty than I previously thought. Charlie? Sheesh, been a long time.
Julia, why are you so stupid?
Wow, that's not the line I'd choose to open a touching reunion with. The last time we met, he was working at Karma Circle, one of those vegan places that pride themselves on hiring workers with disabilities. Went there for the first time 2 or so years ago with Dakota. Charlie here was our waiter. He heard us arguing about something stupid and rushed to Dakota's defense. And in Charlie's mind, the best defense is a merciless offense. He roasted my formal clothes, silly mannerisms, general behavior, and specific arguments so ruthlessly, Dakota had a 10-minute-long laughing fit. The manager overheard him and apologized. But I didn't mind. I've always liked underdogs who can stand their ground. We even became online friends so we could roast each other on Messenger, and he can do that using emojis alone.
People are getting sick. You're irresponsible. I need to take you home.
I was just headed there, Charlie. No need to worry about me.
But I was worried. You never answer my messages these days.
Yeah, that's not exactly an option right now, is it? Especially during the day. If you have to contact me, you need to do it through Dakota. I've decided not to use smartphones anymore. You know, to keep my head clearer and all.
I think you just got tired of breaking them. You always were so clumsy. Your screen was always cracked. You were always thinking a lot while your hands were doing something stupid.
As I said, ruthless.
And is Dakota good? You two still gal pals?
I kind of want to ask him what he means by gal pals. Does he not believe in like LGBTQ? Okay, I want to know.
I mean, remember they said this vegan place they hire people with disabilities.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, this guy has. Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
So let's go with we are.
Yeah, he's a very innocent guy.
Yeah, he is.
We are.
Yeah. We are very good gal pals.
That's good. You aren't practical. You're a mess, girl. You need someone close to take care of you.
Come on, said the guy who still lives with his mom.
Yep, we're the same. That's how I know.
He says that with such an innocent smile and so much conviction, I felt thoroughly owned. I feel thoroughly owned. No use fighting back, switching to sincerity mode. It's just that, don't tell her this, but I'm not sure if we are making each other happy, and that worries me, like, a lot, you know?
That's because you're being stupid.
Hey, I'm being honest now. Don't be mean.
I didn't say you're stupid, but that you're being stupid. There's a difference.
I guess that's something your mom says all the time, huh?
When you're in your head for too long, you always trip over a glass of water or break your phone. That's when they call you stupid. When you argue or when you joke, that's good. That's progress.
You're a philosopher now? Let's go with that. Shit, Charles. When did you become a philosopher?
I read. A lot. Probably more than you do.
Probably, yeah. I'm lazy as hell. I just picked the pages that look interesting.
Are you still a, journalist?
Me? No. They fired me.
Good.
Good? Seriously?
Yeah. Mom reads Lodestar sometimes. She says it's trash. I'm happy you're not trash.
Oh, he's so innocent. Oh my god.
Yeah. I love this
Thank
character.
you.
He's
That
like
means a lot.
brutally honest, and he like
Yeah,
he's nice.
I like him. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot. And how's Karma Circle? You still working there?
No, they fired me.
Oh. Good.
That one?
Yeah. Good.
No, not good.
Oh, I was trying to be nice to. Oh shit. If they fired you, that means they're trash, and you deserve better than to work for people who are trash.
Meh. You're just saying that.
He makes a coitish gesture that makes me burst out laughing. And how's your mom?
She's sick and doesn't want me to come by her room. She sent me out to the pharmacy to get her medicine, you know?
Fuck. I hope it's not serious.
It's stupid. We have to take care of each other, but we can't even see each other, you know?
Oh my god, does his mom have COVID?
It's implied she's like immunocompromised and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why he has
so
to take care of her.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, aw, this poor guy. Now I feel like trash for wanting to complain about my own troubles. You're doing good?
Yes. I'm strong.
Yeah, he is. He poses like a macho man. I laugh.
You stay strong too, Julia. And write something from time to time.
No promises. Hey, if I'm forced to be an asshole to Dakota and we stop being gal pals, will you forgive me?
Let me think.
An exaggerated thinker pose. I swear, this dude.
No.
Then he turns away and disappears into the night. I swear, I don't even know how to handle this guy. He always has to have the final word, even against a vampire. That's probably why I still respect him so much. Oh well, time to follow suit and make myself scars. Time comes for me to meet up with Kader, and hopefully D'Angelo too. The last position on my list, this better be good. Shouldn't have said last person, not position.
Both work.
Sounds
It's like the
weird.
last position, person, you know.
I guess. Oh well.
And that is D'Angelo's agency.
Looks like a dump. Blah.
Perfect for the clan of the hidden.
I thought he wasn't hidden. I thought he was missing, and to be honest, I kinda expected the worst. Why would we look for him in the most obvious place?
I've been asking around and I've got a hunch. Just trust it and start looking.
Fine. Who's D'Angelo anyway?
He's a good man. A useful man. But it took me time to get used to him. He takes sleuthing very, very seriously. His thing is acting like an, idiosyncratic noir detective. I heard it helps him cope with something, but I never felt comfortable tackling the subject.
Sound too quirky by the city standards. Wait, what is that? There's a rat on the floor, frozen in an unnatural position. Weird shit. Examine it. Despite my disgust, I pick up the rodent.
Now that's what being an investigator is all about. Leave no stone unturned.
Shut up, this is so gross.
What have you found out?
I take a close look. Take a close, hard look at the rat. It's alive, but from what I see, he's just stretching out and like grinding his teeth without a care in the world.
That's called bruxing.
What?
When a rat chatters its teeth, that's bruxing. He's not acting panicked or aggressive. So I guess he's just happy.
I look at its face. I don't know. His eyes keep coming out of the socket and going back in. It looks disgusting, like he's in a lot of pain.
So he's boggling. He must be really content.
How does he know so much about... Never mind. I'm getting an eerie feeling. This is weird, man. I have a feeling there's a kindred hiding nearby weird.
My thoughts exactly.
Father slowly approaches a secluded corner of the room.
And there it is.
He kicks a pile of clothes lying on the floor.
I'm just a corpse. Leave me alone.
Oh my god, I love this guy.
Lucky for you, we're all corpses here, D'Angelo. You're among friends.
I'm just a corpse, leave me alone. That's actually like the funniest thing for a vampire can say, sorry.
Kind of sad.
Clumsily.
No,
It's so funny.
you're not gonna be laughing once you see what happened to him.
Okay, fine. Clumsily, drunkenly, the pile of clothes transforms into an unkempt man who looks like he's suffering from some sort of skin disease.
You know, a true friend would just bury me.
Unlucky for you, we're not that kind of friends.
Lucky, unlucky, schmucky my ass. How'd you guess I was here?
See, I've been asking around for the past few days. What I've learned is that, for reasons that can be best described as nebulous, you've made quite a few enemies since last year.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know.
And one thing that caught my interest is how everyone has it on good authority that your place was raided. A few times, without you being found. Yet, nobody has assumed responsibility for these acts.
Hell, doesn't this den always look like it was just raided? Can't blame anyone for making an uneducated assumption.
I had a hunch these might be more than rumors. See? It sure looks like a convenient coincidence when everyone hears something that makes them look the other way. And coincidences are for fools.
Well, you got my number, and you can see my ugly mug right in front of you, so it's no use playing dumb, I suppose.
Agreed. You've seriously spent all these weeks holed up in here? Is the hunger not getting to you?
Got a lot of critters around this area, and we become chums. Some of these rats actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night, acting like cokehounds, begging for it.
Shit! Oh shit! Wait,
then
he drinks from the rats?
Nosferatu... So vampires can drink from animals if they want to.
Oh,
and
wow.
Nosferatu, it doesn't have to be a human. The blood can be from any living creature. Nosferatu, there is a one predator type in the VTM universe called a farmer. A farmer is someone who exclusively only feeds off of animals. And there is a bane, there is a predator bane you get from that called vegan, which means you cannot feed from humans. If you do, you get very uncomfortable, you throw up, you might even get a penalty to your stats.
Oh. I didn't know that. Cool. Yeah.
And Nosferatu are known for feeding on rats because Nosferatu, because of how they look, oftentimes they, travel through sewers, they have to keep in the shadows, and sometimes they can't, it's hard to feed off of humans, so they just grab a rat and, take a little sippy sip.
Sippy sip.
Yep.
Been getting him drunk just to get some rush out of feeding on him. Feels a bit like slathering a horribly burnt piece of pizza in ketchup. But in this situation, I'll take what I can get, you dig?
It's so gross. I failed to keep up my poker face. He notices.
So, who's the dame?
Julia Sawinski, a detective investigating Baron Callahan's death.
He raises his head for a short while to stare into Goddar's eyes, and treat him with a vulgar snicker.
Phooey! So somebody has finally put the old man on ice. Whoever did it did the world a huge favor.
Absolutely. I got orders to establish who that was, and I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. We need your help.
I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really not be up to par if you're begging a bum for help.
Have some dignity, man. Have some dignity, man. He's just so sorry to look at.
Dignity? Spare me, kiddo. Got all the dignity I need right. Ah, shit.
He accidentally lets a metal flask in his hand slip out and fall to the floor, then struggles to pick it up. Father can't bear to watch. Oh gosh.
Yeah. He let himself go.
It's so pathetic. It's so pathetically sad.
I mean, think about what happened to all his coterie members, right?
True, they all basically left and died or whatever.
They may have died, some of them left. His friend, Lila, like, God knows what happened to her. He's a mess.
Aw.
God, what happened to you, Gianni? I've never seen you this low before.
Stress-related disorders causing a disruption in my routine is what I think a shrink would say. Happens when a lot of shady folks are out to put a stake through your chest.
Help us out, tell us what you know, and we might be able to help you in return.
Yeah, expect where it's due, miss. But I think it's gonna be the other way around. I ain't telling two of you shit, pardon my French, till I know I can count on some protection.
Gianni.
Don't you Gianni me, Qodaral. I know your level, but I also know that your honor is one of the few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself? You put it on the line for me. That's that. You either promise to extend your protection to me, the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers, that's the last time you'll ever see me.
Father shoots me a weary side glance. I know. He drives a hard bargain.
Especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky-high at the moment.
Maybe, but I do value my own life quite a lot. Thank you very much, friends.
Father sighs.
Alright, but 3 months from now, or the moment Prince Panhard tells me it's no longer possible for the court to offer you safety without compromising its principles, you're on your own. No negotiations. That's the only deal I can strike with you. Take it or leave it.
Angelo pushes his head, grunts loudly, tugs on his mask and stands up.
That's Jake with me, big fella. I might have strong opinions about Panhard, but hell, I'm sitting on dynamite. I'll take what I can get.
Who else in New York would you rather rely on? You want me to call the mayor?
My opinions about the prince aren't that bad. So, what do you good folks want from me?
Who wants you dead?
Ah, starting the interrogation with the tricky one. Wouldn't I like to know?
Step up, Gianni. You seem to be forgetting how quid pro quo works. Wouldn't I like to know won't cut it.
What can I tell you? That warlock? Agathion, or whatever his name is, presumed dead? Tamika? MIA with SI on her back? So possibly KIA by now? Hope the cook? Hidden in her office under Vanderweyden's skirt? Around the time they started having trouble, some rough-looking streetwise kindred started hanging out at my usual spots. Didn't take me long to connect the dots.
Can you hear me? Sorry, my
No.
mic is being stupid. Wait, what is the connection between you and those three?
Ever since last year, folks started hiring us for various gigs, some even trying to get us to join their coteries. All these opportunities were rather short-lived. However, the delicate tightrope act of working for various employers made us fully aware there's an intra-sect alliance in NYC. Kindred from both sides often work for the same goals without knowing it. The moment we started figuring it all out, a cleanup crew went downtown. I knew the serious warlock boy sniffed something out in his own backyard, and then poof, he disappeared.
So Kitsune said, yeah, there definitely seems to be strategy in choosing to use or not use human dead names. Yeah, using the human names, it gives them it reminds them of their humanity, like when they were back human again.
Then, I lost all contact with Hope and Tamika and went AWOL. Hope they're doing fine.
I didn't snitch on me to, and they didn't snitch on me to anybody.
They are, and
You
didn't
cut
even-
out. You cut out.
Sorry, they are, and they didn't even tell me that you guys knew each other. So I think you're safe.
Huh? Wait a second. Why were you milking him for intel, kiddo?
I found a list of 4 names on Callahan's remains. You can probably guess what they were.
I got the picture. Yeah. Christ almighty.
I've heard it was just a list of freelancers, potential associates, probably prepared by Carter Vanderweyden.
My money's on him being involved, but I smell bullshit. Have you got any idea who might have done the boss in? Any more clues?
None at all. That's where we want you to come in, friend. Investigate the murder scene, the way only you know how. Tell us what you think. Guide Julia in the proper direction.
D'Angelo eyes me up, scratching his head.
Sure, whatever. I'll try my best, kiddo. Lead the way.
I'll drive you there. Or at least as close as possible. I wouldn't be welcome that deep in Anarch territory. Just clean yourself up a bit, Gianni. I just had my upholstery cleaned earlier this week.
After dropping us all at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Mia, Qadir quickly drives away. Here we are.
Swell. Classic closed room mystery. Let me take a look.
I swear I missed D'Angelo because he's the exact same thing I said the first time I saw this place. He starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element.
So, you're saying you're basically a nobody, but you can simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame and Anarch crib for you? Don't know. Sure sounds like somebody to me.
Don't misunderstand. I only met her during the course of this investigation. Everyone's basically treating me like dirt wherever I go, and I'm only acknowledged enough to legitimize this shit.
Lord Castlereagh.
Now that was an abrupt interruption. I was busy sharing, damn it. Excuse me? He's pointing at a painting of the man overseeing this entire office.
I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him.
He seems to have completely switched his modus operandi upon seeing the murder scene. He's in his own little world, and his behavior has become much more machine-like erratic. I still don't follow.
I never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era, but then again, I have no idea about his exact age, of course. So maybe that's when he lived, or was born. Anywho.
Pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here?
Right. That's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, British Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 18th century. Incredibly influential, incredibly hated. Ask one fella about Castlereagh and he'll tell you, he was the man who destroyed Napoleon for good, the man who shaped British politics for ages, the man who built foundations for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fella and he'll tell you, he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform, and then supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters.
He's spouting these facts like a computer. Is that the hint of a detective's photographic memory?
I have to say, it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Definite proof that our victim was sick in the head. As if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him too. Maybe identified with him even. Yeah, it's possible. Callahan and his ilk adore these jagoffs who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Too bad nobody else remembers them well.
I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my head. He's pretty good looking, lol. That was his robot. How did he die? Let's do that. How did he die?
Committed suicide in the 1820s. His family took every sharp item away from him, but he was, well, dedicated.
Why did he do it?
Pressure's mounting from all sides. Deserved hate coming from all sides. Plain old overwork. Also might have gone nuts. Kept saying he saw ghosts. Otherworldly silhouettes were guiding him. Yada yada.
An unpleasant feeling grows in my stomach.
Also, there's a rumor someone was threatening to expose him as a homosexual. Having to choose between being publicly denounced and ending it all by his own hand, he chose the latter.
Well, that's just depressing.
Maybe, but the silver lining is, couldn't have happened to a nicer fella.
He stops above Callahan's corpse and laughs.
Posterity will ne'er survey. Posterity will ne'er survey. A nobler grave than this. Here lie the bones of Castlereagh. Stop, traveler, and piss.
That's a funny poem. And he kicks his bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. Is he still under the influence? Isn't that tampering with the crime scene?
Kiddo, as far as I can see, this crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be ruined more than it already has.
I agree, but it looked about it looked about the same the last time I was here.
Then it was already a total mess before we ever got here. Whatever.
Standing by the metal shutters on the windows, he abruptly changed the topic.
Light proof. Have you toyed with these?
No. In general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me, and I don't like it.
They don't like ya?
They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You'd think I could be useful, but it's just a curse.
I see. You think these blinds could have been the murder weapon?
I did wonder about that. Yeah, I did entertain the possibility.
Well, makes sense, wouldn't it? Let's say for some reason, our stiff was standing there as the sun was rising. Maybe staring at poor old Castlereagh, looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side. Yet another guy pushed to suicide by politics. Pretty old school, romantic, yada yada. Maybe it was torpor. Or maybe it was a freak accident. Or maybe it was premeditated. In any case, sunlight would be a perfect murder weapon, no?
He takes off the mask to shoot a disfigured smile my way.
Well, that's just a theory, anyway.
Well, it sound.
Does it? Because I was just spitballing. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart, and that can easily be done without damage to the skeleton.
And he sits off with a wink. What is he playing at here?
The safe. Anyone made a crack at it yet?
As far as I know, only Callahan knew the code. The safe itself is pretty hard to crack.
Watch me, kiddo.
He presses an ear to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around. You're a safecracker now?
When you're cursed with countenance such as mine, and you decide on a job such as mine, gotta be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, but still, sounds pretty hard.
Last year, there's a random feller visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. He found a safe that hasn't been opened in 40 years. Not a single specialist, nor even a blacksmith could have handled it. The man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, attempted the most sensible combinations, and voila, the unthinkable happened. That's where just trusting your instincts leads ya. Too bad he found nothing inside but an old pay sheet.
A metallic screech. The door's open. I'll be damned.
And it looks like we got the same case here. Confetti. A few random papers scattered around. But for what it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation. Probably recent too. Reeks of foul play. But what do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over.
Another walk in a random direction. I take a look inside the safe. Quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside of the safe and hide it on my own person. Then close the door so that nobody knows he managed to crack it. When I turn around, he's monitoring me to come. He's motioning me to come closer to a sheet of paper lying on the desk.
So yeah, kiddo. Probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not gonna bore you with that, but honestly, anything could have happened here.
I read the text he's written on the empty page.
This place is wired.
Gives him the chills. I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as noise. He nods, then starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on.
Best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, then interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on him. The wiretap is a chip in the broken glass bottle on the floor. Absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser.
Shit. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, the talk of the city, finally got an excuse to nab him. I understand. I think I have an idea to how to use it to find him. Should I notify Qadir? Scribble. Takes longer than before.
So yeah, I'll be meeting up with Qadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing. You're called, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try to stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, so I can get to relative safety.
For sure.
It's back in the sheriff's custody for me. See you around, Julia. Sorry this old codger couldn't have been more help.
It was more than enough. Let's go with that. Whatever I got was plenty. See you around, D'Angelo.
I've got a plan. Now all I need to execute it is a clueless bystander. This guy will do. Do you, need me for anything else?
No. Better take a hike before the guy you've just called shows up. Can't guarantee he won't make you hurt.
Will do.
He
Go
puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. I might have messed with his head a little too much using my wily kindred charms, but I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet, quite clearly multiple times. I would have given him the kiss as a thanks, but I told the big man I won't be here all night and that he'd better hurry up, so I want to be ready when he comes.
No, Chop, it's not Julia from Tekken. Worse than that. More scarier than that.
It's hilarious. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a fast, sharp turns onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flash hits me. I know this limo. I've seen it all around over the past few days, but never thought it might be tailing me. Still, it must have. Looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Doors open and a raspy voice comes from inside.
Get the fuck in, Sowinski!
I smile and accept the invitation. There he is, Kaiser, the king of New York City's information highways, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kinds. First impression, he's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo is also a sewer rat, and he might have had similar physical disadvantages, but at least he was wholly endearing. With this guy, there's no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanely cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages.
You're getting on my nerves, little lady, and I'm far from being the only one.
I get the sense he meant for all this to be threatening. Instead, I'm elated. After a week of running around like a headless chicken, unsure if I was getting anywhere, finally, I get a compliment. If there's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, it was that you only know what you're doing You only know you're doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad. I have no idea what you mean.
No need to play dumb, especially considering you're a natural. The art hole, double spiral, the SI, Pork's Den. How's it feel to have made enemies absolutely everywhere?
He scoffs at me with pure contempt.
Listen, I will speak as plainly as humanly possible to get this through your little head, since it's obvious you're not willing to read the obvious signals. You were hired for one thing only, little lady, to suck at your job, and you couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week, telling me, Kaiser, you're Kaiser. We keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she just won't get a clue. She doesn't have any evidence, she doesn't have any testimony, but she still goes around knocking on everyone's doors, causing disturbances. Such a fucking headache. Usually, I try to be a jovial host, so I cheer them up. She's not that much of a dunce, I say. She's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion, by knocking on my very own door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Are you autistic or something? Huh? Can't read basic fucking social clues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, Que bono? Who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? See, this city has a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless, but ever since you started tinkering with it, it's been having these irritating malfunctions, and it's driving people.
Are you done? A weird, disgusting sound, something between a gargle and a bark, escapes his throat. You gonna
Unbelievable.
All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve the puzzle I was presented with. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you to share it.
I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman. How do I get through all that rubbish in your head to drive my point in? Don't you know who I am?
Remember how we mentioned that there was a friend of ours named Kaiser? So, like, Chop, this other person that we are close to that we know, just mentioned that it's similar to how Kaiser acts when people talk shit about Attack on Titan, and he's kind of right. Her friend goes completely off the hook whenever anyone says anything bad about Attack on Titan. Let's see. Tell me the truth or else. I want to see your higher ups. You're the one who had Callahan's place wired. Let's go with that. Oh, I know who you are. You're the person who had Callahan's place wired, which makes you a possible witness of sorts, or even a suspect.
Shh! For Christ's sakes, woman, get real. Even if your accusations were correct, then who, pray tell, who would you report them to? Do you even know what kind of people I answer to?
No. Care to acquaint us?
Is that really what you want? You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. But it's your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I can tell you now, you're gonna be sorry.
The big kahuna? Finally, now we're talking.
Yes, the big kahuna. So this is your final answer, huh?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
He takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah, but at least I finally will get a clue of what's going on.
I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. Best case, you're gonna beg him to take you in.
Whatever. He keeps grumbling something under his breath, but I'm not even listening. I just watch the streets go by. Out of the blue, I experienced a strong sense of foreboding. Foreboding? Yeah, foreboding. Foreboding. Whoops. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser with an expression that's impossible to discern. When she speaks, her voice is machine-like, yet otherworldly.
Fine. We're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special.
The moment he puts his phone away, the silhouette disappears.
We're 5 minutes away. Better start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself useful to the honcho.
Wait. So, what the heck is the Mel Gibson special? Did, like, that guy die or something?
You know... So, the Mel Gibson special is basically... Hold up. How do I explain it? I think it has a reference to, did he hit somebody with his car? But basically, the main thing that you have to note is that you're not talking to any of his bosses. He's gonna fuck you over. He's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, of course.
Real bad.
Of course. Mm-hmm. But, okay, do you see
And apparently to
Kitsune
Kitsune Fire, yeah, your character ended up getting kidnapped last campaign. Sounds like you're like a magnet for bad luck.
No. Okay, this character, like, what's it called, Julia, speaks to me, like, on a very, very personal level. Like, she sounds a lot like me as a person.
I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, is this me? I thought we were waiting for you. Whoops.
No.
I was like,
It's a
why are
dude.
you saying
I'm
anything?
voicing Kaiser. You're doing the
God.
narration here.
There is no honcho. Oh my god, of course this motherfucker is setting me up. I need to get out of here. Now! I do the first thing that comes to mind. I grab the door handle and pull. He notices me scrambling and struggles to grab me.
Hold up, you stupid fucking cunt!
With glass breaking, loud thuds of something heavy hitting the asphalt, tires screeching. I think he grabbed me. I think he tried to pull me back in. I think we fell out of the limo. I think his body cushioned my fall. But I'm struggling to process what's going on. It's like I'm blanking out. When I come to, he's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. The limo has stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out.
Fucking!
When he stands up, he'll be out. When he stands up, he'll be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. I need something that will give me the advantage. The pepper spray, of course! It probably won't be as effective as it would on a living person, but it's still worth a try. I limp towards the asshole, disarm the device, aim towards his eyes, and unload the entire canister. We didn't hear you scream. You need to scream louder. Let's go. Louder!
I can't do any loud, unless you want me to lose
Loud.
my voice.
Yes, please.
No thank
Be
you.
like me.
Nope. I'm not gonna swallow
worked.
glitter and sniff glue.
Hey, I didn't sniff glue. You added that line on, okay? I only
Just fit.
choked on glitter and maybe some thread. It worked. It actually worked. I keep up the offensive. Punch him, kick him, throw him around, pummel him. I smash his head against the curb. I struggle to harm him in whatever way I can, like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it takes. It might be 1 minute, it might be an eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing to him, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. Then I look at him. He seems shocked, barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he was one of the most influential figures in the big city. But that's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. When he speaks again, his voice is pathetic, surprisingly close to a whimper.
Hey, you lost, mislaid, and abandoned property of a woman.
He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked? What do you think? I'm stupid?
You needed to be taught a lesson.
Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know about Callahan's final death. All of it.
Oh, to hell. You can fuck me up. However bad you want. I'm still not gonna tell you shit. You try anything, there will be consequences. There will be retribution.
Can I Diablerize him?
My mouth is shut.
Can I Diablerize? Oh. He might be my last chance to solve this case, but if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. Do I dare to push him to the edge, make him suffer until he squeaks? See, me as Quasar wants to Diablerize him straight up, just to like get all his knowledge because he has a lot of it, and like I don't want to deal with this pathetic loser. But me as Julia, I feel like she still has humanity in her.
Does she?
I mean, so far I've chosen honesty. I've chosen the right path. You know, like as right as I can be. I think this is a barrier she won't cross. Because she's trying. She's really trying to keep her humanity.
This guy tried to have you killed, and you won't get any more information if you.
Yo, stop being the devil's advocate here and let me make my choice. You always do this.
You want to? You said earlier you wanted to Diablerize him, and now you suddenly want to play the good guy.
I Quasar would, without a second thought, but I don't think Julia would. I think Julia's
So which one?
That.
So which one is it going to be?
This is a barrier I won't cross.
Okay, you got a new trait. No more human, still humane.
All of you might be fucking monsters, but that doesn't mean I am.
Big words for someone who just beat up her fucking elder.
I will still get back at you. I will appeal to whoever I can.
Yeah, sweetheart, whatever. See, that's a good thing about being the lone voice of dissent. It's a mutually beneficial deal. One side gets the unearned moral superiority, the other side gets no resistance whatsoever.
Oh, I will resist, by whatever means necessary.
Spare me. Tomorrow night, you will see the compromise that everybody agreed on long ago. Progress is coming like a train. If you want to throw yourself on the tracks, be my guest. I'd love to watch.
Tomorrow.
Julia!
I look back over my shoulder and see Qadir. Qadir.
Bloody hell, what is wrong with you? Why does he look like that? This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. A hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off.
Look, you're talking nonsense.
You're out of your damned mind. I should have you in for a potential masquerade breach.
Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Do you even care about that?
I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous. Psychotic. I will take care of you in a moment, in my car, Kaiser. Hold on.
I'm not done questioning him yet. It looks like there's a major conspiracy too.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, and you're gonna be glad I leave it at that.
If you do that, I'm going to have to assume you're complicit.
That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a third.
So that's that? Tell me, what was all of my footwork even for?
We'll be seeing each other, little lady.
Can you hear this?
Go home, Julia.
But...
Go home.
Fine. Well. Before I do, take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo. Still abandoned a little further down the street.
I'll take over here. I skipped the church visit again tonight. I want more time to finish this report. Who knows? It might be my final one. I want to spend more time with Dakota. Yeah, just forget about the rest of the world. A lot happened tonight, but I can still manage to be at our apartment an hour earlier than usual. She should be glad. I sneak into the apartment as silently as possible, trying to surprise her.
Oh no.
When I reach the bedroom, I see something unexpected. It hits me like a ton of bricks. At the beginning, I can't properly parse the sight.
Oh no.
But when I finally understand what I'm looking at, it causes a wave of terror and disgust to swell up inside my chest.
This is why you don't come home early and unexpectedly. What the fuck?
She's shocked to see me, doesn't know what to do. She's like a deer in headlights, or a schoolgirl poorly trying to hide her misdeeds from a teacher.
You're early. Yes, I am. These are my clothes, Dakota. These are my cigarettes. That's my jewelry on the table. Yeah, I was, and I'm pretty sure, God almighty, I thought I was just being neurotic or whatever when I noticed something dreadfully familiar in you. I can explain. Please do explain.
A good 10 seconds of awkward silence pass. I can see her spending an eternity in her head.
This isn't what it looks like.
Oh my god, it is exactly what it looks like. I will just come out and say it.
Dakota, are you single white femaling me?
It all makes sense now.
No, come on, no.
I thought I was the leech in this relationship.
We watched that movie together. We made fun of Jennifer Jason Leigh together.
Jennifer Jason
Leigh together. A roommate stalking and imitating her own roommate? Ha, what a concept, right?
But I was being fed on in a far more sinister way without knowing it.
Don't be silly. Silly? I have never been this serious with you.
So, whenever she put on my makeup, whenever I used her as a mirror, was she always hyping me up because she wanted to live vicariously through me?
So many things make sense in retrospect. The little ways you kept modulating your speech after me, the weird ways our tastes were always compatible, some of your art feeling so familiar. None of it would trigger any alarms by itself, and yet...
She's as humanely embarrassed as possible.
Julia, listen. Don't fucking touch me.
I can barely think of anything more repulsive than being put on a pedestal like this. It's like the other person is begging me to perceive them as someone worse, if not outright subhuman.
Don't be like this. Just don't. You know, this would probably be infinitely more palatable if you talk to me like a person here and not like, I don't know, your fucking mommy. You know what? Fuck you. I've been locked in this apartment by myself because of all the pandemic shit going on. It's fucking me up. I know you've had it hard right now, so I don't want to bother you.
I didn't want to bother you.
So I didn't want to bother you. Yeah, I was counting on you to ask about how I'm feeling. Babe, how was work life? How is your work-life balance? Aren't you feeling claustrophobic? Hey, it's just me, or is it our drug supply weirdly shrinking too fast? But no. You're too much of a self-centered bitch. You regularly suck me dry and it's okay. But the moment I entertain the thought of taking something in return, I'm crossing a line. Oh no, I'm a member of an immortal, elite secret society. It's so hard to cope, Dakota. Whenever I gracefully decide to visit our apartment, let's just do what I enjoy until the pain stops. Fuck you. Fuck you, sincerely, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. There's nothing you can do but take, and you should have learned that by now, that just taking won't make you happy, you big dumb bitch. Stop, just...
I don't know what to say. I feel disgusted, both with her and myself.
Just stop.
Dakota breaks down crying. She grabs a jacket and a purse and runs out of the apartment. I don't try to stop her. I stand there for a short while in silence and then lock the door. Did she take her keys? I don't know. I don't know if I care. I desired for someone else, not for myself, for a way to open a different world, not get locked back in mine. I collapse onto the soft bed. I smell her perfume. I always liked it, but now, it makes me slightly nauseous. I try not to think of Dakota. I think of Kaiser. I think of Qadir. I think of Callahan. No matter what I think of, I sense doom. I feel that I've just sealed my fate, whatever it may be. Everything fucking sucks. Back into the void, back into the void, back into the void. The next scene is the final one. We're almost done here, actually.
Oh, that's pretty fast. I didn't expect that. Cool.
So, time to rest. For me, it always starts with an image. An image which might be vaguely eerie or interesting, but usually not an image that would provoke particularly strong feelings by itself. Usually it hides a mystery. That much is correct. But that mystery doesn't exist without a text, or more specifically, a context. Context is everything. One way or another, you need to process what you're looking at. Maybe that context will be something you've heard, or overheard. Maybe, although it's quite rare and pretty special, it will be your very own creative, captivating, complete interpretation. A ghost of an idea. Is this a half-forgotten memory of something unspeakably beautiful I will never, ever see again? Just a scene from a movie? A fragment of a music video? An animation? Or maybe this really is the last thing Callahan ever saw in his own life? Warm sunbeams caressing his skin and turning it to ash? A giant ball of fire engulfing his body in flame from 93 million miles away? Was he terrified? Was he grateful? There's no will, no suicide note, no nothing. Instead, we can only count on what the local historians will write, presumably letting their biases shape the narrative one way or another. What am I looking at here? A horrible, laughable hall of mirrors? A creep whom I never ever want to see again? A vampire much more despicable than myself? Or maybe someone who loved taking care of me and deserved to be cared for in return? Funny thing, whenever I was high as a kite, mentally lost in dimensions parallel to ours, she was my anchor. Our shared history, my feelings for her, were an anchor. Matthew McConaughey, returning to his estranged daughter from the other side. Matthew McConaughey, returning to his estranged daughter from the other side of the cosmos, from beyond the event horizon, guided by nothing.
I love that movie,
but love.
Interstellar.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Then, whenever I got back to planet Earth, for a week or two, I was haunted by a memory of that affection. I was the best possible version of myself toward her. But that haunting always refused to transfigure into something real. What gradually took its place were angry, disappointed thoughts, and among them, one thought that I was always trying to suppress. I need someone who'd know how to raise me up spiritually, but all I have is a psychopath who's always working her... All I have is a psychopath who's always working her ass off to lift me up without understanding what I need. It's hurting us both. Having these words pop up in my head hurt me, because they had a ring of truth to them, but also because I knew there must be another narrative. A better narrative. I was just too stupid to find it. Story of my life. Story of my own life. I still have no idea what I think about this city. I had my the best city in the world phase. I had a just a playground for wealthy fucktards phase. Now, I'm in search of a better description. One day, probably, I will stumble upon, like, a piece of writing or a prestigious TV show scene that will contain just that. And suddenly, I will look at this place with new eyes. Or maybe I won't. It's like the frustrations I had back at Lodestar. All these words constantly trailing behind reality, trapping you in useless mindsets instead of bringing enlightenment. Fuck all those flashy writers, whose main concern is furthering their own brand. Douchebags who present you with limited, pathetic, depressing realities where they are kings. Fuck them all to hell. We need word that will paint a brighter future before our eyes. But what if it can't be done without reinterpreting the past first? What if we haven't even defined the ills and threats correctly? Once again, my thoughts return to the same visual that has been tormenting me for almost every waking moment of this past week. A senseless demise devoid of any context, a crime scene stripped of evidence, an image created by an unknown artist, designed to leave you dumbfounded. The investigation's over, all the possible avenues explored, all the non-testimonies are in, no concrete evidence found. The play is almost complete, the actor's ready to leave the stage. It is what it is. I failed as a detective, maybe through no fault of my own, but again, it is what it is. This case, this scene, this picture, never needed an investigator. From what I understand, all the people in charge ever wanted was a talented writer. What if? A ghost of an idea. When I wake up, Dakota's still not here. I don't know how to feel about that, so I just don't. Father hasn't left any messages by the door. Still that mad, huh? He will probably appeal to the court to take me off the case, and if half of the garbage Kaiser was spouting is correct, he shouldn't have much trouble convincing everyone. I look in the mirror and stare at my warped non-reflection.
This place is upsetting. You need to change the scenery, girl.
The depressing streets of a lockdown New York City will do. I think of God. Maybe that's why I have consciously picked the cathedral as my destination. I think of the silver cross adorning my chest, an empty signifier. Whenever someone asks me why I wear it, they hear a different story. I think of these silhouettes that I keep spotting from the corner of my eye. No, I don't even want to imagine what that means. I feel what it means, and it makes me nauseous enough. I think of my clan, so closely tied to the Catholic Church. It's a loveless marriage, so to speak. Like, for example, the one between my parents. I think about the great irony of the Lasombra's truce with the Holy See. We are the only ones who stay so close to the Lord's light, even though we're certain we will never, ever reach it. Some of us shadows have visions. Visions of comrades who departed this world recently, traveling through some abstract space, one that's disturbing and astonishing in equal measures. They almost reach whatever afterlife there is for our kind, but then get caught and consumed by a dark, monstrous silhouette. The rumor is, our antediluvian, there's that word, wasn't stopped by his final death. He's still out there, behind the shadows, taking revenge for our patricide, feeding on us like Saturn devouring his children. Oh yeah, the Lasombra antediluvian, it is said that they did find him and they did consume him, diablerize him. So there's a legend that...
Who diablerized him?
His kindred vampires, the Sabbat. Lasombra used to be part of the Sabbat, so they found him, and they consumed him.
And they ate him, yeah.
As Dakota would say, it might not be factual, but it is an emotional truth. From joining the Camarilla to panically scrambling for any safe house, it's like our elders are solely motivated by fear. The sins of our fathers are catching up with them, and it's young kindred like me who are given responsibility to clean up their mess with the constant sense of doom looming over the horizon. We don't talk about salvation anymore. We're just minimizing the impact of damnation. That's no way to live, but then again, maybe that's why they call it unlife. Shit, it's Benoit. Hello there, lost sheep. I'll have you know, this shepherd was extraordinarily patient in waiting for you. What are you doing here while the night is so young? Out for blood? Well, you're in luck. This place offers both the body and blood.
Oh my god. Oh my
Go
god,
ahead.
leave it to Benoit to make a fucking joke about Jesus like that.
Go
If
ahead.
missionaries learned their methods from pickup artists, they would all be like this guy. I'm not in the mood, you sorry ass bum. Step the fuck away from me, or you're gonna be sorry.
Oh my, something troubling you? If so, I can arrange a confession. Or, if you're in a hurry, keep in mind, the path from inner turmoil begins with a friendly ear, and I've got one right here.
Kurwa Jabana Tolja. You want me to fuck you up? You want me to fuck you up, don't you? Don't you?
Julia, as you should know by now, I always interpret this kind of response to preaching the divine as the devil stirring inside. Is that what it is, Julia? The liar and the father of lies got a hold on your soul? If so, give me a signal, even the smallest one. I'll do my best to spot it.
Something swelled inside my chest. I recognize the feeling. The handbrake just broke, and I'm definitely not on level ground. Fuck, here we go. Listen, I've had enough, alright? Enough. Enough of your sanctimonious altitude, and of your brazen...
Attitude, not altitude.
Oh crap, I thought that was an L, my bad. Enough of your sanctimonious attitude, enough of your brazen lack of basic empathy, enough of your dumb, ugly fucking mug. You are a fucking singularity of stupidity, tastelessness, and cringe. I've met all sorts of horrible shitheads and asshats this week, and somehow none of them go under my skin the way you do, you motherfucker. Like a goddamn Jehovah's Witness going from door to door, except you're always knocking on my fucking skull, going, hey, do you know God exists? Have you heard that God exists? Like...
Hold on. Hold it right there. When did I ever say that God exists?
What?
I said, what makes you think I believe God exists?
Oh, you're just fucking with me.
No, I'm serious.
Well, he sounds serious, at least. I'm actually speechless.
I think there's been some sort of silly misunderstanding that desperately needs to be cleared up. You cut out.
I'm all ears.
I sure hope so, Julia. I feel like you must have ignored half of what I've been saying for you to reach these conclusions.
That's very well possible, actually. It usually takes 15 seconds of him talking to get me completely zoned out.
So, to avoid any further mix-ups, I will go back to the beginning and explain the core of my religious beliefs, okay? So, I love the Catholic imagery. I cherish the tradition and the lore. I adore the practices, the intricacies of the theology, the messages contained in the Bible. Of course I do. Does that mean I believe that one day I will see the big dad in the sky? Forgive me, Lord, but I don't think so. Doesn't sound very likely, especially for a bloodthirsty creature of the night.
So, that's what this is about? Fun imagery?
That's overly simplified, but yes, I suppose you could say that.
Motherfucker, you ain't Catholic. You're just a weirdo cosplayer.
Says a non-practitioner who still wears a cross. He's got a good point.
True. That's a really big burn. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't shove it down people's throats for fun in my spare time.
I'm simply trying to share the joys religion has brought to my own life with others.
What joys?
Oh, where to start when there are so many? The joy of having plainly understandable rules to follow. The joy of having a structure to your life. The joy of always knowing where to find people who share your values. Above all, it's the joys of being an aristocracy, surrounding oneself with exquisite, luxurious architecture, beautiful classical music, ornate rituals formalizing our actions and relationships. A pursuit of virtue, separating you from the masses, the hierarchies, the communities, all serving an idea greater than themselves. It's like monarchy or some Camarilla traditions, but not as gauche.
So that's what you saw pretty paintings and buildings and thought, hell yeah, I want in. And then you just decided what they meant to you? What they mean to you?
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's real faith that brought me to the fold. But eventually, I whittled down this religion to its core, to what interests me.
Unbelievable.
Oh, don't think for a second I wasn't empathetic when I was trying to convert you. You are the embodiment of existential despair surrounding us, the one that people usually try to drown out with drugs, sex, work, Netflix, pick your poison.
Give me
All
one
of
second.
them.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
No worries.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry about
So
that. That
Kitsun's
was
saying
such a
Benoit's serving a real hot take. I kind of agree. Like,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, they like religion because they might not necessarily believe in everything or agree with everything, but religion creates a sense of community and belonging. And for humans, that's what they like. Like Nietzsche, the German philosopher Nietzsche, when he said God is dead and we have killed him,
You mean
he
Nietzsche?
also okay,
Well, a lot
this
of people
one
say
Nietzsche. I swear, every single my professors called him Nietzsche.
okay.
So this one's on, and they were German. So some of them were German, like from a German background. So, but yeah,
Okay.
he said God is dead. We have killed him. A lot of people take that to mean religion is dying, but what they forget is he said more things after that, and he basically said that since people are turning away from religion, something will need to fill its place. And
It's
for
like
a
a
lot of
vacuum.
people, it's a void and a vacuum, exactly.
Yeah.
And so Benoit's basically, and this is why I like the character of Benoit, even though he's annoying, he has, underneath that annoying, like, hey, repent for your sins, underneath he's a very insightful, spiritual guy. And he can be helpful when it comes to it, as he's being helpful right now.
Yeah.
The one that people usually try to drown out with drugs, sex, work, Netflix, pick your poison. All of them. Temporary copes. Empty yourself. Kill your ego. Get a routine. Join a community. Ground your morality in something tangible. Start perceiving yourself as a part of something greater. All of it good advice by itself, but codified in an appealing, otherworldly aesthetic. One that keeps the beast at bay. One you're almost fitting into the way you are. What's there to hate?
Unbelievable. You're a goddamn lunatic. He looks to the sky.
Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Oh yeah, okay. So I think in the previous game he said Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is in the New Testament. That is supposed to be Aramaic words whose meaning is "Father, forgive them." It's said to be the words Jesus said as he was being crucified. He's asking God to forgive these people because they don't know what they're doing. So even in death, he's asking God to forgive the people literally killing him.
All he's saying is basically, hey, you're bigger than what you are. You need to give yourself a purpose, otherwise you're gonna fall victim to the beast inside.
Yeah. Benoit doesn't necessarily believe in like a god necessarily, but he likes the purpose that being a part of the church, religion has given him.
It gives him humanity, essentially.
Exactly.
Like, humanity.
It helps him retain his humanity. Exactly.
Yeah. Stop that. Your entire ideology is just aesthetics. You fucking loon.
And how exactly do I differ from anyone else nowadays in this regard?
Stop arguing semantics.
No, you stop. Just look at yourself. A privileged burnout who refuses to invest herself in anything. Only started committing to anything when, for once in your unlife, you were forced into a politically charged, dangerous task. Once it's over, you'll be back to being an aimless brat.
Desire to murder increases.
Ever since World War II, I've been watching every person, every ideal I cared about wither and disappear. That's a source of my pain. That's the reason I am what I am.
You're a Tory.
The source of your pain, a thing that defines you, people have been mean to you.
Fuck. People in third world countries keep their heads high while suffering from every sort of horror, but you have a complete mental breakdown every time you remember you have mommy issues.
Wow. Classy.
Oh, don't act like you have the high ground here. You obvious sadist.
Oblivious. Oblivious.
You oblivious sadist. All I'm saying is that everyone has a different framework, a different lens to view their suffering through.
Yes, And if there's one thing abandoning your humanity should have shown you, is that kin frameworks are not enough petty vendettas, childish romances, pointless power struggles, the dumb gamble that's chasing a successful career, mommy and daddy issues, sure, why not? Pain and pleasure dictate everything. Everyone wants something bigger than this. They want to escape from this drudgery. They want psychedelia, but permanent. They want to stare at God's face, even if he does not exist. And you can show them how. Accept the cross you're wearing into your heart, Julia. Accept it.
Pre-fucker.
Just accept it. Alright, that will be enough, Benoit.
The mood changes in an instant. The sight of Father Leonard takes us both aback.
Father, what are you doing here so early? You two are arguing so loudly, I had to come out and check. Even if, with all the panic on TV these days, simply walking outside feels like marching into a war zone. Yeah, I'm sorry. You should be. I was willing to turn a blind eye to your quirks, because I believe you have your heart in the right place, mostly, but I'm very disappointed in the way you approach folks in need.
Now, Benoit Segal is displaying all the confidence of a scolded teacher's favorite.
But I was just trying to guide her, to set her on the right path. I know, Benoit, I know. That's the problem. The sacristy is open. Please head there right now. We need to have a long talk. Get me some coffee, if you wish. But... Benoit!
He slowly slinks away, looking defeated, deflated, debased. I burn the moment into my retinas, etch it on my soul, kind of hoping I'll never have to see him again, and this is how I'll remember him. Father Leonard watches him closely until he disappears from sight, then turns to me.
I feel sorry for him. I keep hoping he might find some basic empathy through fate. But all I've done thus far is let him leave you at the end of your tether.
Yeah, that's some faith he has. Are you okay with all that bullshit he's spouting?
Huh. I don't exactly support it, but I don't reject it. It's like attrition and contrition. Imperfect and perfect repentance, you know? One is focused on a relationship with God. The other, selfish and focused on personal gain. But both of them work.
Yeah, doesn't this strike you as completely missing the point?
A bit, but purely secular takes on Christ's teachings are nothing new. Pascal's Wager is a boring example, but have you by chance read Bulgakov's The Master and Margarita?
Sure, back in Poland, every teen trying to look intellectual online loved to repeat the joke about the talking cat who swears he never poured vodka for a lady because women deserve pure alcohol.
That's one takeaway from that novel, I suppose. I read it as a moving depiction of Christ, who's not a divine being, stripped of mythic qualities, but open for transcendence. Jesus and Satan, understood as powerful forces, battling within us.
Would have to read it again. It's been too long. Sounds nice though. I lazily take out another smoke. Leonard watches me closely before speaking up again.
Julia. 4 hours from now, there is going to be a meeting in the Elysium, the big finale of Celebrations of Power. Everyone will be there, but they were counting on you to not show up. The good sheriff planned to present the result of the investigation in your stead. It's a simple, crude strategy.
In your stead.
It's a simple, crude strategy. Might work, but begs to be countered with an outrageous tactic. Take it as you will. The game is about to end.
Momentarily, I'm left dumbfounded. All I can muster is an eloquent... Eh?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm just a messenger.
Who relayed this message to you then?
A good friend. A cautious friend. Wouldn't be able to tell you more than that, even if you forced me to.
Well, shit. This is the moment that might decide the rest of my days. What would you do in my place, Father?
When I was faced with a dilemma that would shape the rest of my life, The world felt too big and scary and impossible to understand, so I simply escaped from that choice into the seminary.
Yeah, if that's your idea of good advice, I'm gonna have to ask you to shove it.
I would expect nothing less.
Don't you regret it?
Regret what?
You're kind of shady, but don't seem like a bad guy. Still, you have to accept the people above you are responsible for some horrible things.
If our superiors' acts count as our own sins, then on the face of it, probably half the people in this world are irredeemable.
Clever, but not a real answer. And being a low-level grunt for assholes you find wholly objectionable is no way to live.
I don't know. Is it?
I finished the smoke in silence. I have to go. Don't know if and when we'll see each other again, but when that happens, I probably won't be the same old me.
Of course. But before I leave to scold Benoit, let me say one more thing.
Cool, Benoit. Yeah?
These are difficult times. My parishioners keep calling me. The things people are going through, they might never admit. But if this keeps up, it will cause horrifying, invisible damage to this nation. A dreadful darkness is killing us all, little by little, and like every powerful evil, it manifests itself little by little. And yet, sinful as it may be, I confess to being strangely excited. For a moment, we're seeing this suffocating normal disappear. This is the time to dream. A new world is possible. Walk these empty streets, Julia. Remember how the city feels right now. Bask in its shadows and uncertainties. After the apocalypse comes the great rebirth. The Amici Noctis await your next report with great curiosity. Or is it Amici Noctis? So, I know it's Latin.
Amici. They're
Is
both
it Amici?
fine.
Okay.
Because Noctis with a hard C, so Amici would make sense.
Okay, yeah. I only know Noctis because that's the main character of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's why. If I give him a nod and sprint away. Now I know what I must do.
Hey Moon, my lone constant companion. When I moved here for good from, you know, the old country, you were the only close friend who kept me company. Never
Just
felt
a
in the
quick
right
interrupt.
place.
I was just gonna say just a quick thing. The Hey Moon thing reminds me of do you know Northern Downpour by the Panic at the Disco back when they were still like a full band instead of one guy. There's a song called Northern Downpour which is beautiful and like it goes, hey moon, don't you dare go down, hey moon, don't you go down. It's sort of like it's very melancholic and I feel like it's perfect.
You might
for
be
this
referencing
situation.
that a little bit. It might be like one of her songs.
It's really like it's a really deep song I think, even though it like as Panic at the Disco songs always are, they're very ambiguous for the wording, but they have like an underlying meaning, and it's very melancholic. So
Julia probably might be a fan of that song, and maybe these lines were inspired by that. Kitsune said FF15 is such a great game. I don't want to get into too much, but it's a great premise. I'm just disappointed how rushed the last third was, and how they had a bunch of different DLCs planned for like an alternate ending, and then they scrapped it all. I'm a little sad. Like it could have been a bit more, but it was decent. I did enjoy it and the characters. It was one of the few games. It shows genuine brotherhood and like positive masculinity. So I really appreciated that.
the wandering boy band.
No, like I'm serious. Like when
No, I mean like they all look like they're part of this boy band.
Oh
so,
yeah,
like,
it's a reminiscent of the Japanese style. Look up Visual K. It's a Japanese band style. Visual K K-E-I. Look it up sometime. That's how they dress. They're like fashion style. It's like a gothic emo punk band style. Yep.
Yeah, I love their style for sure. That's definitely my style.
Never felt in the right place back there. Never felt in the right place here. Especially now, when I'm not quite alive, not quite dead, not that Slavic, not that American. But maybe it's about time I finally carve out some space for myself. It's been a long road, hasn't it? Wish me luck. Go for it.
I catch him in front of the art hole, because of course he had to be the first person I met here. There.
No way. No, 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 no.
I'm gonna be the laughing stock of the entire city if I don't show up to the resolution of my own investigation. How about you demonstrate a modicum of courtesy?
Courtesy? Girl, I should put you on trial. I can't guarantee I eventually won't. You've messed with Kaiser, the eminence gris of this city. Beaten him to a pulp like a random goon. He will do everything he can to destroy you from now on, and my bet is he'll succeed. Kitsune said, I was a huge fan of Visual Kei bands when I was in high school. Yeah, same. I discovered Visual Kei from watching Yu-Gi-Oh! So in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie Bonds Beyond Time, the Japanese version, the song that they use, I forget what it's called. It's been a while. But it was done by a Visual Kei band. And I was like, oh, what's Visual Kei? And that's where I discovered that style. And I was like, it's very weird, but, for a band style, it fits. I like it. It's kind of cool.
You know what's a weird Japanese band? Ling Toshite Shigure, or Sigure. It has a very unique style, like very unique. It's a very acquired taste. You guys should try it out if you want to test it out.
Send it to me sometime.
Nice.
Sounds interesting.
Sure. Whatever will be, will be. For now, at the very least. I like to show the court I'm not a baby fledgling who can't see a task she was given to the end.
You're making a huge mistake. How did you even learn this meeting is happening in the first place?
Maybe I'm not as trash an investigator as you thought I was.
I never said...
But you're showing it.
That's not a fair assessment. I wanted to finish this whole mess myself, for your own good.
It would be nice if you asked what I think next time. I'm actually pissed off he tried to pull this off without me, but I'm not letting it show, counting on being able to guilt trip him into submission. His deep sigh of resignation proves that my tactic was successful.
Fine, but you will stay quiet the whole time. No tricks, ifs, or buts.
But of course.
This way.
We step into the maw of the gallery. I was gonna say Galloway. The celebrations of power are almost over. Everyone is back at each other's usual respective styles again. Back to their usual respective styles again, looking weary of each other's company, trapped in their own little worlds. The art hole is nearly empty by now, and Kader is gently strong-arming the last remaining nobodies into leaving the premises. Eventually, only me and a select few New York Camarilla VIPs remain.
Ah, Miss Sawinski! Barely made it, huh?
The asshole with the glued-on smile spots me first, and just as he authentically enthused to see... And just... crap, let me try that again. The asshole with the glued-on smile spots me first, and he's just as authentically enthused to see me as ever, so he finally showed his face around here.
I wasn't sure if you'd join us tonight. Qadir made this meeting sound like a one-man show.
The preparations took me a bit longer than I had thought they would. I apologize.
Are you, by chance, planning to surprise us with something?
Well, if I was planning something, it wouldn't be a surprise if I told you now, would it?
Can I have everyone's attention, please? We're about to begin.
Everyone remaining in the building gathers around Qadir.
Ah, exciting!
Is everyone present?
Colder.
Is everyone present?
There you go.
Is everyone present? Present?
And accounted for. My prince.
Yeah. Yes. Before we begin, let me welcome an unusual guest to our fold. She gestures towards the corner from behind which emerges a silhouette that would have never, ever appeared here under normal circumstances. It's Dakota, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. Okay.
Name's Torque. I'm the Baron of the Bronx. I was delegated here by my compatriots as an oversight authority. I'm here to observe the results of the investigation.
Absorb.
No, absorb. Nothing more, nothing less.
Let me stress this one last time. This is a one-time occurrence meant to alleviate the tensions in the city, not a symbol of mutual recognition, not in the slightest. I peek at Addison's face to get a feel of how a hardline loyalist might grapple with this arrangement. His expression betrays no surprise, only a slight discomfort. Even if he is fine with it,
If even he is fine with it.
If even he is fine with it, the prince must have been extremely convincing about the necessity of a temporary truce, or about some Machiavellian tactic that she's got ready up her sleeve. Who knows?
Of course. We might have irreconcilable differences, but there are times they do have to be temporarily put aside in order to quell unrest and open paths for constructive, meaningful change. This is why Tamika left him. She would never compromise with the Camarilla like this. Even be in this meeting.
Yeah, no, she's a hardcore rebellionist.
He's a hardcore,
he's a
like,
suck-up.
yeah. He would compromise.
He's a sycophant. He's a sycophant. Clearly. Torque looks cool, says
He kinda does.
107. He does look cool. If anyone would like to voice their concerns, the time is now. Torque, Arturo, Panhard exchange glances, and Panhard exchange glances. Normally, I'd consider it an innocent gesture, knowing what I know. I roll my eyes. A stick or a carrot? A stick or a carrot, Torque? What made you break and sell your compatriots? How much do you really know? If not, Qadir?
May I?
He steps into the middle of the room and clears his throat, theatrically.
First, let me plainly state that the conclusion I'm going to present is by no means my own achievement. It is the result of a tireless investigation conducted by talented kindred I won't name here.
A telling glance in Torque's direction serves as a I can't say that word.
I don't know how to say that one either. I know what it means.
I know what the word is. I know how to
same
say
here.
it. I just can't say it right now.
Succinct?
No,
Bleh.
succinct.
Succinct.
Oh gosh.
We'll just go with the synonym. It serves
Okay.
as a sufficient.
Yeah, as a sufficient explanation for why he refuses to call them by their names.
And of course, Julia Sawinski, whose ceaseless groundwork over the past few nights served as the foundation for the findings that are about to be revealed here. Thank you, Julia.
Succinct.
Succinct. There we go.
Succinct. Oh,
Succinct.
yeah,
Yeah.
succinct. Damn it. Yeah, see, I knew the word. I just didn't know how to say it when it's written like that.
English.
It's not English, my worst enemy. It's not the first time he sets out to oversell my achievements.
As the sheriff, my role here is mostly representative. I spent the last few days overseeing the celebrations in Elysium, making sure no harm would befall anyone present. Luckily, none did. Looks like the prince's decision to move forward with the event was the correct one.
And for we should extend our thanks to Qadir, and let us not overlook our guest to a degree.
I managed to convince my key allies that diplomatic action was the only way forward in this case. No matter how wrong-headed the enemy can be, we still need avenues to negotiate and communicate.
I really like his coat. I really like Torque's coat now that I think about it. It's a really nice coat. Especially if it's embroidered, like all of it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I'm curious about how Tamika would react to him looking like a corporate bastard designing the future order, dismissing the potential for change that lies in unrest. No wonder she dumped him.
Basically what we talked about earlier.
Spare us the empty pleasantries and let Qadir move on. I don't have all night for this.
Right, I'll be concise. Douglas, Boss Callahan's remains were found in his office by one of his ghouls first thing in the evening. The first kindred to confirm it was another Anarch Baron, Pork, present here. A mystery book author would refer to the circumstances of Callahan's death as a classic closed room mystery. The metal door, locked from the inside, served as a sole way in. There was no murder weapon, no useful testimonies, and the evidence was, how do I put it, barely circumstantial at best. What was left for us was one hell of a puzzle, one where the answer couldn't even be approached using the tried and tested question, cui bono? We were presented with a poorly timed power upheaval, a tense situation where a long-planned celebration was in danger. Suddenly, all of us were faced with an uncertain future. Everybody benefited, yet nobody did. No one was especially fond of Callahan, but it's not like anyone seemed particularly keen on removing him from the equation, especially at this time. For a moment, we were sure this was the beginning of an offensive on the part of the Camarilla. We started wondering just how violent our retaliation should be. And as for us, we were momentarily convinced that the Anarchs were plotting to blame us for their own internal power struggles. A tense situation resolved only thanks to skillful and swift diplomacy. Dare I say yet another victory for our talented prince? Julia made sure to examine all the contacts Callahan might have had in his last days, in both sects. Her efforts were tireless, and only rarely misguided.
He just had to spit out at least one biting remark, didn't he? Ah well, he's probably just covering his ass.
But as exhaustive as they might have been, they only served to muddle the possibilities, not explain them. Callahan had a lot of enemies, but they were the most infuriating kind of enemies one can have. Folks who barely ever thought of him anymore. In other words, no one really had a particular interest in getting rid of him, because they could always simply work their way around him. Just before last Christmas, he even witnessed the first ever successful First Light raid against his extremely profitable blood trade supply lines. The lone ace up his sleeve, a downright shady ability to perfectly maneuver around all SI activities, gone. Callahan's decline was apparent to all, and a domino effect made his empire slowly crumble. Up until recently, he'd done an admirable job keeping up with the times and getting away with murder, but suddenly, all of the prison's spotlights were on him. The recent stories we hear about him all depict a depressed, downright manic recluse, lashing out at everyone, struggling and utterly failing to fit into the new reality he found himself in. A closed room, no evidence of struggle, a lack of strong why-done-its, the corpse being found in the very early evening hours. The conclusion is simple. Callahan's final death was self-inflicted. Suicide, to put it in simple terms.
Huh. Silence has filled the room. So, wow. That really is the angle Billy pushing, isn't it? Let's hear it, Sheriff.
I will explain. It was an independent detective who first set me on this theory only last night. There is no suicide note of any kind, of course, but the message our recently departed has sent might not have necessarily been a verbal one. The peculiar thing was the position of the body. It was like an arrow, pointing at us to notice something. It appears the last thing Callahan saw in his unlife was the portrait of one Lord Castlereagh, the second Mark of Londonderry, which is coincidentally where Callahan was born. To most, he was a reviled traitor, a heartless suppressor of all dissent. The main threat against each rebellion the Irish have gone through, successful in all the ways, but those that mattered to his people. Some call him a tragic figure, holding together selfish allies against a common threat, always fighting for painful and unpopular compromises, ruined by overwork, sickness, and poor public speaking skills. Not hard to see why Douglas Callahan would empathize.
Polite Snickers.
Indeed, especially when you realize that the sickness in his blood, his failures, the hatred from his own people, and a growing paranoia led him to commit a dramatic suicide within his own four walls.
I see.
The assumption is, instead of stabbing himself to death with a knife or a pen, he decided to let the sun embrace him in its warmth. Castlereagh's face burning into his eyes, a poetic final death. It's not a closure we might have wanted, but probably the best explanation of his motivation that we're going to get. Does everyone follow?
A heavy silence fills the room. Nobody speaks up except Prince Poundhard. To me, it's perfectly understandable, agreeable, and most importantly, fits the man I've come to understand over the last 2 decades.
So she's Wolf said, yo, hijab, Samira hijabi, mashallah. She's Banu Hakim, so she's from the Middle East, and it's said early on she wears the hijab. Most of her hair is showing, and she wears it because she has scars, and she needs to cover up those head. She has some awful burn scars on her head and her face.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not necessarily wearing it out of religious obligation. She's wearing it more of a convenience.
Aesthetic,
yeah.
Yeah. Consistent murmurs resonate through the room.
Consentient
murmurs resonate through the room. I was going to say reminates. Oh my god.
Agreed. And might I add, there were some irregularities in the handling of the crime scene, but the Anarch leader's findings suggest Callahan's resentful ghouls were to blame. Folks have been real happy to see him dead, is all I'm saying, and they went overboard with the celebrations. They've all been interrogated, though. Yes, I have received all the resulting intel, and it's done nothing to change my mind. Their depictions of Callahan's state of mind only serve to support the suicide theory. It is my suggestion that we all announce these findings to our respective communities first thing tomorrow night.
Sounds reasonable, and I think concludes this meeting. I will let the Keeper of the Elysium do the honors. No time wasted, huh? Alright, does anyone have anything to add? Any questions to ask? Take your time. Silence. I look at everyone I look at everyone sitting it out in perfect agreement. Congrats, everyone. Congrats us. We achieved a perfect victory, no loose ends, no rocking the boat, no nothing. Makes you want to puke. How many of them contributed to this final report? How strongly does God there believe the shit running from his mouth? Has he always been a Camarilla loyalist?
He's always been.
He's always been a Camarilla loyalist, fanatic even. But Miss Julia, any final statements? This is it. Now or never. If anyone can blow this pathetic charade wide open, it's me. But there's no coming back from this road. It has a cost. And it has a cost. I've spent all my life and unlife on social climbing, and the sunken cost of fallacy is kicking in, challenging them. Here might be my only way of ever making it out of the pit I'm in. On the other hand, maybe this is my time to head into the unknown, kill my ego and at least temporarily, shut up the voice of the elders screaming in my head, betray my La Sombra instincts. Make all these ghosts go away and figure out something new, no matter how scary it might be. Do I dare? Or maybe I don't. I feel like there's an incredible prize to be won, waiting right in front of me. If I just dare to take out this revolver with its single bullet I have hidden on me. And I invite everyone here for a crazy game of Russian roulette. But I also get this foreboding gangster movie feeling. Foreboding, sorry, I keep getting that word wrong. But I also get this foreboding gangster movie feeling, like the scene where the future mobster could have gotten out.
This is the scene.
Crap! I'm ruining this moment. Okay. But I also get this foreboding Foreboding. Okay. I also get this foreboding gangster movie feeling. Like this is a scene where the future mobster could have gotten out, but he didn't. In the end, did Callahan think all the splendor of the golden era was worth this pathetic end? It's like there are two cells battling for dominance inside of me. One of them has to die, the other gets to live. Honestly, it's a flip of a coin. I reflect on all the kindred I've met, the lessons I've learned, the choices I've made over the past few nights to make a decision. And then, feeling like I'm simply following the way I conducted this investigation to its logical conclusion, I respond. No, nothing. Father has done an excellent job of summing up the entire case. A barely detectable tension in the air disappears. This was the first time they might have had to reckon with something I said, but luckily for them, turns out they won't.
Well, looks like that's all, folks.
Yeah, looks like it.
Excellent. Might I be going then? Places to be, kindred to see.
Took the words right out of my mouth. You can see it in some of their faces. Everyone is happy. Samira, will you escort Mr. Torque out? Me and Thomas will have to appease Mr. Payne for disrupting the sanctity of the Elysium. Certainly, right away. Right this way.
Tomorrow night, we're back to being enemies, of course.
Of course. Isn't that just what you wanted to hear, Addison?
Oh, spare me the condescension. Oh, spare me the condescension, Helen.
During the commotion, I'm approached by Qadir. He looks me in the eye and makes a show of exhaling deeply.
I have to go and see everyone back to safety now, but thank you for not pulling any stupid tricks. I really appreciate it.
Who do you think I am?
Someone else, and I apologize for that. Sometimes you just see something and completely misinterpret it. We'll think about how to handle the future, particularly the Kaiser issue tomorrow, alright?
If I'm even here tomorrow. He pats me on the back with a short, awkward smile.
See you then.
Everyone slowly scatters, but I just sit there, keeping eye contact with the only person here I still have some unfinished business with. The art hole should have its doors closed now, but nobody considers it weird that I'm just staying. After all, the only person that is still accompanying me is the Keeper of the Elysium.
I'll take over now.
Aren't they such a happy bunch? All's well that ends well. People were getting nervous, like you really had some good cards to play.
Colder.
People were getting nervous, like you really had some cards to play. You're a poker player? Occasionally. This is a very socialite thing to do. Played with Jennifer Tilly once. Must be easy to keep a poker face with, you know. I know. It does help. And you do seem to know a lot about the cards other people are holding. Like all great games, poker does share some principles, lessons, and necessary skill sets with real life.
I take out another smoke. This conversation is bringing the tension back, like two fencers carefully looking for a hole in each other's defense.
I found a file about you in Kaiser's car. Seems like he was worried about you, the only unpredictable variable in his equations.
Oh, hey, Khan. You're about to see the end, or one of the endings that we're about to. Well, the ending's already locked in, so we're gonna see what it actually is.
See, that's the one card I didn't predict you drawing. Speaking of not predicting something, when I was waking up tonight, I didn't expect a good friend would provoke me into coming here. Who might that have been? Not a lot of people in the room had an inclination to act friendly towards me in any way whatsoever. Sure looks like someone made a risky play. Even great players make dangerous plays sometimes. You know why? No idea. Boredom. It's boredom that gets to you. Even when you love the game, there's always this fear that it might turn into a perfectly predictable series of optimal plays.
I'm to make a play that might not seem optimal at the moment, then a direct attack.
You're not really Catherine Weiss, are you? I don't know who else I could be. Let me phrase it differently then. You're not Ekaterina the Wise, the agitator of Prague, a Bruja elder causing the turbulences of all over the world, are you?
He laughs.
Ha ha ha. That file must be pretty thorough. Must have been pretty thorough. Kaiser knows what he's doing. That's why I'm afraid of what he might do to me to get revenge. Rightfully so. Maybe I'll help him out in exchange for a favor. Snuff out a La Sombra meddler, strike a partnership, promise to keep each other in check. If that was a joke, it wasn't very funny. And just so you know, I've made precautions. It was a bluff. Honestly, I expected more of a reaction. Kaiser's documents, did they mention anything about Ostrava? They say that's where you were born, as Hannah Urbanova was unlikely enough to emigrate to New York City at the perfect age, with a pretty accent and approximating that of Ekaterina. Honestly, that explains a lot. Goddard told me that Eiling once organized a blood hunt after Ekaterina, that she was both a liability and too intertwined with the city's history to give up on her. The solution, you, were deemed the best possible compromise by all parties involved. The particulars aren't really described. It is theorized that blood magic was used, maybe flesh crafting. Oh my god, is this Agathon? No fucking way is this Agathon.
What?
Oh my god. Okay, never mind. I was thinking flesh crafting because Agathon's missing, right? I was wondering if they turned him into Catherine. Anyways, let me
Agathon's
continue.
dead.
Oh, okay, I'm an idiot then. I thought he was still alive. Okay.
No, that choice you made matters, and once we get to the ending, I'll explain everything. Go ahead.
Cool. I do remember a few images. Her accomplice's embrace, Christoph, the man who caught me, apologizing that the others broke my jaw as if he wasn't to blame. Violent brainwashing.
This woman is a very old, very ancient vampire.
Mm-hmm. I love her scarf. But what's done is done. I might not have been Katrina the Wise, but I am definitely Katrina Wise now. I feel as good about the situation as I probably can. She's the brooding Batman, and you're the fun-loving Bruce Wayne.
That is a very good analogy, actually.
Zorro and Dio de la Vega.
Diego de la Vega.
Like
Diego de la
Vega. Something like that. A debutante who sleeps a lot and parties a lot, only has to do something unpleasant from time to time. Do you hate her? Sometimes, but I mostly pity her. I've come to accept my fate, and I don't even feel much trauma when I see my jaw in the mirror the way she does. Some pig broke her centuries ago, and she still relives the assault every time she catches a glimpse of her own face. All that power, all that reach, all the appearances. Still not enough. Don't get me wrong, but is there a point to all these questions? Oh, there definitely is. I think I was reading your file that made me ultimately decide against turning this investigation upside down. Was it now? An immigrant from Eastern Europe comes to New York, takes the position she always expected to find herself in, is molded into someone who's no longer herself. The story struck a chord. I felt like you were maybe ever so slightly pushing me to follow your way, to lose myself in a position of considerable power. I could see Julia Swonsky sharing Hanna Urbanova's fate, and to be honest, it scared the shit out of me.
Catherine shakes her head.
Funny. Ostrava is just 15 kilometers away from Poland's border. I know. I think I've been there once when I was a kid. Parents love to travel. Who doesn't?
He takes my smoke, turns back, takes a deep drag, and returns it to me.
All of these long-established organizations, with time, their practices always degenerate. Start draining everything out of the participants, turning into a cycle of abuse aimed at no one in particular. But the funny thing is, if the victims aren't allowed into positions where they can perpetuate the abuse, they feel the abuse is aimed specifically at them. There is no winning move here. Do you understand what I am trying to say? I think you're making good excuses for yourself.
Just excuses.
You're making excuses for yourself?
She desperately tries to stop it, but she laughs. Sounds a bit like a harpy screaming, but it's strangely endearing. I take a drag of the cigarette she took from me earlier. My inner grade schooler excitedly informs me it's an indirect kiss.
Let's walk outside. I need to close up shop. Donna's almost here and we still need to talk about how to get you out of Kaiser's grasp.
I nod and follow her to the street.
So I hear you've been living with a human. Yeah, it didn't work out. Oh, and why is that?
I don't know how to do this. Do I dare call it a sisterly bond came to happen? And I know it can't last beyond tonight, but I'm savoring every second.
She's been, turns out she's been single white femaling me. I don't follow. I come home, I find her wearing my clothes, smoking my cigarettes, pretending to be me, the creepiest thing in the world. So you find that pretending to be someone else is the creepiest thing in the world. I see how it is. Piss off, that's a low blow. Why would she do that? No idea. I just yelled at her and saw her running out. She's probably back home by now. She's probably back home now. I hope. No, I don't. I don't know. I know it looks bad, but maybe you should just, ask her why she did it and then make an informed decision. What are you talking about? That would be reasonable. I don't do that.
She loses herself in thought for a moment, visibly torn whether or not to tell me. She's not laughing this time, just to...
Oh, wait. She just says poof? Okay.
Just poofed, yeah. She loses herself in thought for a moment, visibly torn whether or not to tell me something.
This might be Katrina speaking, but I was thinking about you and Carthage.
You too.
Or you two and Carthage.
Carthage.
Carthage, you're supposed to say it that way. Carthage.
Is that how the Greeks say it?
Whatever. Everyone is arguing with her. Everyone is arguing with her about that name. Some people claim it is too much historical baggage. It's a myth. It didn't work. It was still vampires taking advantage of humans. But it is still a beautiful dream. And you two are like the embodiment of it.
So what she's talking about here is in medieval, actually way before medieval times, in ancient times, Ventru ruled over Rome, Rome was ruled by like Ventrus, and other vampires lived in Rome. And the reason Brujas are called philosopher kings is because in ancient times, Bruja ruled over Carthage. Carthage was a dream city for vampires. Human, vampire, coexisting in harmony. And Bruja ruled over them. They were intellectuals, they were philosophers, and they were kings. And then they went to war. And the Bruja got destroyed. They got murdered. And so badly. The Rome and Athens, Sparta, all these other cities, they buried the Bruja vampires so badly, they even conducted blood rituals to make sure they never get up from their graves ever again. They killed them very badly, like literally burned the entire place to the ground. And so she's reminiscing about those times. A lot of older Bruja, especially elders, they think back to the days of Carthage. And and it's like they're kind of like Muslims who look back to their old like golden age, or Catholics who look back to when like the golden age of the church, the papacy and stuff like that. It's like in similar fashion, Bruja look back to those old days and that golden age of empires.
Discord just like completely like died on me for a second. I literally just reconnected. Okay. I have no idea what you said. You just said, okay, no wait. They look back on Carthage as Muslims look back on their...
As Muslims look back at Golden Empire, their golden age. Yeah. Catholics look back at the papacy, the Crusades.
The Spanish Empire, like Caliphate times.
So they look, the Bruja elders, like the people who really know their history, they look back at those times with like, you know, a nostalgia, a longing.
Yeah, I get that. Alright, let's move on. You mean the apocryphal story where Carthage was not destroyed because Romans were greedy for land, but because kindred and kin coexisted there in harmony. That's a pretty deep cut, you know. How long ago were you embraced again? I've been reading a lot to catch up. The inner journalist / former copywriter in me still refuses to die. Again, it might as well be Ekaterina speaking, sending you to die for her pipe dream, but that's the best option I can think of to get away from here with a goal in mind. I'm listening. Head for the Anarch-Free Street of California. Look for a man called Gillis.
Giles.
Giles. I know it's Giles. I said Gillis.
I said. So here's the thing. She has a slight accent, but she's lived in New York for several centuries.
Yeah,
she knows enough to
it sounds cooler. Leave me alone.
Revan, she would know. Let me have this. All I'm saying is, look, she's not fresh off the boat. You're like, when I said slight accent, she's not fresh off the boat. She knows how to say the names properly.
What if she wants to keep her heritage as the immigrant? What if that's why she's transformed into Hannah? So her accent got...
No, Hannah's her real name. Hannah is her real name.
She transformed into her actual self. She was playing Katrina before, and Katrina would have said Giles, but she as Hannah would say Gillis, because that is her. Thank you. Let me play my character. Gosh. Head for the Anarch-Free Street of California. Look for a man called Giles. If you are alone, you might have to do a lot to prove yourself. If you are with your friend, you might have to do a little less. If you succeed, you will be able to fight for a noble cause of establishing a new Carthage. It's hopeless, but no matter what tough act Claudia is putting on, it's still better than waiting for Kaiser to act. Might as well give it a shot, and then see what's next. Thank you. Don't thank me, you idiots. I'm sending you to the West Coast to die, just so you are not here to blabber about me to Kaiser, and so I can please my boss. Now scram, sun is almost up. Sure, thank you. Nevertheless, if it's just to piss you off some more. Anything else I should know? I don't exactly know how practicing you are, not even Father Leonard knows, but in an hour of peril, Keep Saint Jude, the patron saint of desperate cases, in mind. I'm not even religious, I mean, really, but in my darkest hour, someone told me to keep him in mind, and maybe I wouldn't be here if he didn't. Yeah, I know of St. Jude. In happier times, Mom used to joke he was the patron saint of her sex life. I see. Fellow Catholic guilt survivor, huh? That classic Eastern European upbringing. I am not admitting to anything. Stay safe, Catherine, and thank you. See you again someday, somewhere, Julia. Although probably not.
I wave at her. For the first and probably the last time, and leave Elysium behind.
Hey! Hey.
She's sitting on the bed. It's obvious she was crying before, but is trying her best to hold up.
Where were you? I was, finishing my big investigation.
She sniffs.
So, how was it? I fucked up. Big time. I didn't even put up a fight. Don't tell me you expect us anything different. I did, actually. You used to be a shining example of an investigative journalist. Maybe. I never felt comfortable being an example.
The wince on her face proves that got to her.
I'm not happy with who I am. Jesus. You're really copying me in every damn respect, aren't you? Fuck you! I'm being serious! I know, I'm not trying to be an asshole, or rather, trying not to be an asshole. We really are two leeches who got stuck together, huh? Like a two-person human centipede loop or something. An Ouroboros or a Mobius strip.
I got lost in my own metaphors. I take out another smoke and slowly decide what to say.
You're extremely good-looking, kind, endlessly energetic. You've got a steady job as an artist and even a steadier influx of cash. Why would you want to be someone else? You're extremely good-looking, clever, talented as fuck, immortal, and eternally young. But you still have that horribly deep well of self-loathing within you for some godforsaken reason, and it fucks me up as much as it does you.
Probably.
Yeah, I get it. But single white female? It was an impulse. It was the first time I did it, I swear. I didn't know what got into me. That timing was just... fuck. Maybe I just wanted to see if I can be a better you than you. I don't know. Maybe I need therapy, but I'm tired of looking for the kind of therapy that feels like it works and it's not just brainwashing me.
She might be lying. But I don't want to believe she's lying. I choose to believe she's not lying. What do I have to lose?
I think I want to give it one more shot.
She raises her head.
Do you? Yeah. I think I do. There's one condition, though.
She shoots me a cold look.
What condition? I told you I fucked up my investigation, but not how badly. Looks like I'm no longer safe in NYC. I need to run first thing tomorrow evening, and the only way out I see is a bunch of loons living on the West Coast who are trying to bring about a utopia where humans and vampires could coexist. It's probably even more dangerous than staying here, to be honest, not to mention how dangerous it could be for you, and I haven't even figured out how we're going to get there safely, but yeah. I'm beyond tired of sitting on my ass, collaborating with monsters. This is the first page of the second chapter. This is a lot to take in. I know. But I think I'm in. I know I'm in. You've got a future. You've got rich parents. You don't have to do this. In case you missed it, having rich parents is like a goddamn, I don't know, original sin in my book. I don't want to coast on their money. I want to try doing something that fucking matters. Are you certain? About as certain as I am that the deep state exists. That's good enough for me. I'm off to sleep. The sun is probably already up. I'll pack your clothes. What for? Are you planning to unleash Dark Dakota on me again? Don't say anything. As I said, trying not to be an asshole. It's a process.
The day went by, and I woke up just like any other night. That was the first surprise. Dakota following through with the plan was the second. We're leaving the city. I don't know about her, but I'm kind of hoping it will burn the moment we leave. Fuck all these out-of-touch psychotic assholes who murdered Callahan and partied on his grave all week. Fuck the opportunists who couldn't even seize the moment and do what had to be done. Fuck this temple of Mammon where truth is impossible to find. Fuck the Bronx, fuck Brooklyn, fuck Queens, fuck Staten Island, and fuck Manhattan. Fuck Manhattan in particular. Okay, I'm done.
I'm probably gonna try to stop at motels, drink from truckers and hitchhikers and whatever. Exciting! We'll be like a pair of serial killers prowling America's highways. Remember Near Dark? That nomadic vampire movie?
Rorschach said didn't have it in ya? Wait, didn't haven't... Rorschach, I don't know what you... yeah, Rorschach, she chose this ending.
Yeah. Of course I do. Is that what we're planning to do in the Midwest? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll improvise. It just hit me. Won't the motels be... won't the motels and such be closed because of the virus, though? Shit. I don't know. I didn't think about that. Maybe I really should have robbed a bank and just paid the circulatory system goons to smuggle us to the West Coast. Ah, whatever. Might be fun. Remember, you'll be the one paying for everything. I don't want to expose myself to anything, and I don't want to expose anyone to anything. I've seen enough shit talking online about this exodus of New Yorkers who are probably spreading that thing all around the country right now. Gotcha. We should wash the car, I think. And you'll be disinfecting yourself anytime we touch. Okay, that's just being freaky. And maybe you should wear a mask. Nope. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave. I guess. Hey. Yeah? Do you love me? Of course I do. For now, at least.
I still don't know if I love her. Or if I can even love anyone, for that matter. I'm a fucking monster, after all. I don't even know if we'll exist next month. The prospects are not looking good. But although I can't even see myself in the rear-view mirror right now, I will remember this image of us leaving the city, somewhat melancholic and somewhat hopeful, forever. And maybe the meaning of this image will be clarified with time, or maybe I will just force a more positive description on it, and that is what I'll believe. No matter what happens, even if oceans of blood lie before us, I will make this a cherished memory. Whatever possible salvation still remains for me, it probably lies in the eyes of another. You got the bad ending.
And that's the bad ending? That was a good ending. How's that the bad ending?
Okay, so in the other ending, what happens is during that scene where Catherine says, "Does anybody have any last words?" Julia. And you remember how Julie was contemplating what to do?
Yeah, and then
What
she
she
didn't do
does,
anything?
yeah, in our ending, she doesn't do anything. In the real ending, what she does is, and the good quote unquote good ending, which is kind of the canonical ending, she says, "Yes, I do have words to say," and she goes, she basically calls out everyone. She's like, "It's pretty obvious what happened here," and she goes,
wait. Don't spoil it. How about this? For our next stream, how about we skip through everything, get the decisions for the good ending, and just play just the good ending, just to see how it is. That way we don't like ruin it for everyone, and that way we can also just see it ourselves.
No, but there's I think we should just move on to the next thing. Trust me.
Why?
Like, I think it's more fun to. I mean, we could show them, but like, I kind of like. Here's the thing. It's called a bad ending because you're going to the Anarch Free State of California, where it said, "Oh, humans." If you know anything about the Anarch Free State of California, it is a mess. It is not a utopia. It's a terrible. It's not a very good place. And also, you're fugitives.
It's a pretty bad place. But
you're a fugitive. You're on the run. You're a fugitive and on the run.
At least I'm with someone, and like my girlfriend didn't leave me.
He's a
and,
human.
like,
She's a human. You took a human with you, and you're not only you're Khan, shut the fuck up. But you're basically a fugitive on the run. You pissed off some people, and now she's at risk. You took her with you. In the good ending,
true.
In the good ending, what basically happens
Spoiler alert.
So she interrupts everyone, and she calls out everyone, and she goes, "Look, it's pretty obvious. All of you got together to kill Callahan, and you had me, investigate this thing as like a sort of a fake formality." And she's like, "But I am a writer, and writers, we create stories." And everyone's like, "Well, what's your point?" And she goes, "Your story fucking sucks." She's like, "I get it. You guys just want to say, oh yeah, Callahan died, blah blah blah." She's like, "Your story fucking sucks." And she's like, he died of suicide. She's like, "That's such a boring conclusion."
Yeah.
And what she does,
I didn't believe it.
And what she does instead is, she says, "What would be a more interesting story?" So what actually happened was all of the Primogen, they all came together and they, including what's his name, Pork. They all came together and they killed Callahan, and they were like, "Oh no, Callahan died." They were all there. Yeah. They all killed him. So she says, remember Carter Vanderweyden and how he had the note and everything? Mm-hmm. She says, wouldn't it be a more, and how it said Carter is trying to become prince? She goes, "Wouldn't it be more interesting if Carter here, and she makes up lies. She goes, "Kaiser had a whole file on you. It says you've been trying to usurp power and become prince." And Carter's like, "What are you talking about? This isn't true." And then she basically full on uses a mix of truth and lies, full on throws Carter under the bus, and she straight up says, "Wouldn't it be a more fitting ending if this Malkavian Primogen that all of you kind of don't like, you're all sus of, if it turns out he was the villain, and now you just throw him under the bus?" And she goes, "But I'm not done yet. Now a seat on the council has opened up. And I've done this whole thing, I've crafted this whole narrative for you.
Shit.
I want to become the La Sombra Primogen." And in the ending, she becomes the La Sombra Primogen. She finally gets that power. She finally gets that respect. And now here's the downside. Qadir is even Qadir is like surprised at her ruthlessness. Yeah. And you see a missing poster of Dakota. She's gone missing. And Julia doesn't give a shit.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Now this is called the good ending because La Sombra by nature, they are ruthless individuals. remember how it kept saying betraying my La Sombra instincts?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
La Sombra
so I
by
should've played
nature.
it more. Because
Now-
I was trying to play her more humanely, but I guess
this is
I
you
should
could-
have given it to the beast.
One way, I don't like the achievement on Steam is called good ending and bad ending. Personally, I would have called it La Sombra ending and humanity ending, because in this ending you stick to your more human side. But the reason it's called bad ending is because like that's not quite
It's not the
yeah. Now good and bad kind of depends on your
power.
exactly. And personally, I got the good ending, the ruthless one on my first playthrough.
Wow.
And the
Kudos
reason
to you for getting that.
mainly because of the decisions. So you know those traits that you got? Those
Yeah,
traits
that's what I was
ultimately
thinking of.
determine what your ending is. So when it asked me,
empty beast.
I said
type,
Agathon.
then-
I said Agathon is dead because I was like, given everything I've seen,
He's probably dead.
there's no way this guy is alive and in hiding.
I mean, I thought he was dead too, but I wanted to be like optimistic, so I was like,
Yeah.
maybe
So I
he's
said-
alive.
I said Agathon is dead, and then I was brutally honest with Torque, which gives you the bad ending. This one, all the nice things give you the bad ending, and then the other thing I did, the other major thing I did torture Kaiser. I did because I was really pissed at Kaiser, and I was like, fuck this. I don't give a shit. Fuck this guy. I tortured the
So
shit
you
out of him to
beat
get.
the shit out of
So what she does in that scene is she literally, he has some broken bones. She starts smashing the shit out of his bones, and then she picks his bone open, cracks it, and then she tortures the fuck out of him, and it in great detail. And he basically, it's really horrific.
Khan's just like, oh, if you wanted Optimism Quasar, you're playing the wrong game.
He's got a point, like the whole point of it survive, because so right now it seems nice, like, oh, you run off to the west coast for your girlfriend and stuff. It seems kind of nice, optimistic, but realistically,
it's
dude,
one of the
Kaiser,
worst endings because-
it's bad because Kaiser is after you. First, Second Inquisition, they're all after you, and now at least in the good ending, you live and you have power, etc. But now everyone's after you, and there's no telling that the Baron, Baron Giles of California, there's no just because you came to him for Haven doesn't mean he's gonna immediately trust you. Anarch Free State Barons, they're pretty ruthless individuals. Like they might have this idea of a utopia, but they're pretty. No, they're even meaner than Torque. Torque is somewhat nice, little chill. The Anarch Free State Barons, they're very cold individuals. So, if they find out, this Camarilla, first they'll be like, I'm not gonna trust you. You're a Camarilla wannabe. You ran away from New York. How do I know I trust you? So now, like, Anarchs are after you, Camarillas after you, Second Inquisition's after you. Like, you're basically, like, complete fugitives. So that's why it's kind of the bad ending. But that moment,
also
it does
the
feel...
pandemic, and also, like, just
also
staying
the
at places. Yeah,
exactly.
Also, like staying at places during at the nighttime. Like, what if they're all closed, right?
I played and got the
shack or something.
I got the ruthless ending first, and then I got this ending.
Good, yeah.
And I like both. Personally, in some ways, I like the ruthless ending. I like the ruthless ending because I just love how Julia stands up to the entire court and says, "You're all full of shit. If you're gonna at least be full of shit, make your shit interesting." And I just love that. And she like
that is interesting.
Creates an interesting story. And you would love this. Even it says that even Arturo was shocked at how ruthless she was. Even he was at a like at one point, Arturo, when he's like, "All right, if you want to be La Sombra Primogen, you were living with a human. You realize what that means, right?" And Arturo thought, "Oh, she's gonna refuse here. She's gonna be like, no, please, don't hurt Dakota." And Julia goes, "Yeah, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want with her." And Arturo was shocked. Like, he was at a loss for words. Like, what the fuck? Like, even he was shocked like that. And I liked the fact that he was scared. Like, he was basically scared.
Nasa, I think you mean Switzerland, not Sweden.
Voices are the bad guy.
Yeah, just the bad guy, just be Sweden. I'm like,
Kitsune, it's a lot like Life is Strange. Like, the Steam achievements call it good ending, bad ending, but it all comes down to a matter of perspective. I think they're both great endings. I got the I got the Ruthless one on my first playthrough, and then I was like, all right, I want to see what the other ending is like.
I was gonna say one more really cool thing. If you actually look at the artwork here, right? You see like the two sides of her, right? The Sombra side with the ghosts, and then the more the humane side with Dakota. And it's so like it's once you play the game, you kind of realize, holy shit, it's telling you exactly what you're in for. If you give into your Sombra traits, you get the power, you get that like that look, right? But if you go for your humane side, you get Dakota, but that's all you get.
That's all you get, exactly.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And that's the whole thing of VTM. Of do you want to survive? If you want to survive, you have to.
And smoking, yeah.
You
and lung cancer.
You have. Well, she can't get lung cancer. She's dead. She's literally dead.
She's the only person I will allow.
So Rorschach said, "Here's the defending the bad ending. In the bad side, you have showed your true colors. The cam will never tolerate a full La Sombra."
Yeah.
You mean the good ending, because Roche, that's the good ending. But yeah. Camarilla, they don't quite trust the La Sombra. Like in our own VTM campaign that I'm in with Roche, he's the dungeon master. One of our players is a La Sombra, and one time in the beginning, we're at a gathering, and he demonstrates his powers, and the Ventru Primogen immediately gets pissed off. And he starts going off, like he goes full on vampire racist. Like, so Camarilla, they kinda don't, they're only kinda like, because they have to kind of tolerate it, but they do not like the La Sombra.
Yeah, I mean, no one does. They're kind of like the outcasts.
In that ending, Julia forces her way to the top, and she tells them, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm now a Primogen. I have equal... And it shows, like, she's extremely powerful. Like, even Qadir is scared of her, and Arturo is, like, scared of her as well.
See, in my headcanon for this ending, honestly, I don't care if I got the bad ending or not. In my headcanon for this ending, so Julia and Dakota end up going towards California. They stay in like abandoned homes on the way there if they can't get a hotel. Then when they get there, Giles is like, I need to get you to trust me, I need to know how I can trust you, blah blah blah. And so they're after her, but because you weren't ruthless and Qadir still thinks of you in a good way,
he might help you out or something. Yeah,
he might help you out, and then Hannah might also send you more help because she is the one who sent you that way. She could write a letter of introduction to Giles for you, right? So technically, it's not the bad ending; it's just another possible.
I don't know.
Ending.
I don't know if Catherine or Hannah knows Giles personally.
Well, she's the one that introduced. Well,
she knows Giles rules over the Anarch Free State of California. She was just saying, hey, go there. It might be better for you.
And Khan, what he was saying was not the bad ending, but he was talking about, the good ending that you claim is good ending.
Rorschach.
The bad side of that.
That's
sorry,
not Khan.
Rorschach. Sorry, it says Khan there. I'm so sorry. Rorschach Khan, there you go. Rorschach said.
Yeah,
he was talking about specifically.
Because I was defending the good ending, he was pointing out some of the flaws with the good ending.
Yeah. So, one of the flaws of that is that they'll never truly accept you as a Primogen, even though they'll put you in that role.
Doesn't matter, she has power.
But, yeah, she has power, but you know what? So, with great power comes great responsibility, and she might be also outs really fast, just like Callahan was. Maybe she's too dangerous to keep around.
Callahan was just like the thing is, Callahan made enemies out of everyone.
No, I know, but just by
people
doing this,
didn't like him.
The same. But just by doing this, she kind of made everyone scared of her. And when people get scared, they get, fighty. They get very agitated, and they get very like, I will take risks now. So
people,
kind of thing.
The way I see it, people weren't necessarily scared of Callahan. Like, it's more so...
they just wanted to get rid of him.
They just wanted to get rid of him, advance the narrative. He's an old dinosaur.
But Julia is a threat.
She could be a threat.
If Julia does this, she becomes a threat to everyone. And so now they have to figure out a way to get rid of her permanently.
They can try, yeah.
So, but that's what I'm saying. There's good and bad side to both. I like the ending I got, whether you think it's bad or not. I have faith in my friends from Camarilla who were actually with me. Like, Tamika, is already there, and I helped her get there. So she might be on my side. Qadir is definitely on my side because he was, happy with me.
He might be sympathetic, but he's still a loyalist.
Sympathetic, fine, whatever.
I don't think he would. I don't think Qadir would help. I think Qadir would just he wouldn't. If he saw you, he wouldn't kill you or turn you over. but he would definitely. I don't
Yeah.
think he would necessarily help.
No, I mean, not help like extend a hand. I mean, help just keep the dogs at bay, essentially, that kind of thing. And then there's Dakota, who's emotional support, and they might repatch their relationship. And then there's what's it called? Hope. Hope really wasn't much. I know for sure D'Angelo, for example, he was pretty interesting, and with like their relationship wasn't that bad. And if D'Angelo, like, he was also on the run technically from Kaiser and everyone else, if he also makes his way through the circulatory system to the West Coast, well, there's another ally right there, right? There's so much more optimism in this end than there is in the other
you
end.
picked optimism, yeah, because that was one of the traits. So,
And
yeah,
in the multiverse of the Hollow Tesseract, we have multiple possibilities.
you could think of it that way. And
I will.
if they recently they haven't been they've made Vampire Masquerade games that are like straight up text-based visual novels. There's no like images, no music. They're still pretty good. I do hope they continue series like these, because I really enjoyed these, like in like a visual interactive with like animations, music. But yeah,
It'd be really neat to see like Shadows of New York Part 2, just to see like what happens to Julia in the next world. And I really do like Julia's character, so it's really fun to see her become more of an optimist if she ends up going to California. But I guess technically her story does end here because it splits in 2 ways. But if they
that
do
and
make,
also like everyone said, optimism gets you killed in VTM. In World of Darkness, whether it's Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Vampire the Masquerade, whatever setting, optimism in the long run doesn't help you really survive. But it's nice to think about. It's nice to think about. Yeah, of
It is
course.
nice to think about. Yes, I can go off on a tangent of how, and I did go off on a tangent of how many ways it could be the good ending. But you know what? There are always possibilities in the multiverse. And that's why we're the Hollow Tesseract.
And with that said, we have completed 2 games, and we'll see you guys next time for our next project, whatever that might be.
Hopefully Danganronpa, because I'm definitely looking forward to you playing that, because it is a whole new level of despair.
Sounds interesting.
Until next time.
Till next time, good night and good luck.